Hope this is working. Excellent connection. Okay, well, we'll try this. If it messes up, it messes up. I don't really know what's going on at this point, to be honest. How can I do this? Okay. Okay. Enter.
Tell me what I can do.
Okay, it's happening, guys.
Nothing good is born from lies. And greatness is not what you think.
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes.
I don't know if I'm too quiet. I'm terrible at the volumes here. I'll go up here. Shit. Okay.
And welcome to DC Fandom. I'm Maletich, and I am streaming to you from the Hall of Heroes. Let's call this place Superhero Central, or maybe the DC Broadcast Studio. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before, guys. I mean, how cool is this place? I'm actually standing inside a stage that Jim Lee himself drew. How incredibly cool is that? I am beyond excited to be sharing this moment with you guys. This worldwide mega event is for DC fans across the globe, and we've got exclusive footage, insider info, the latest DC news, and huge announcements from WB Games, film, TV, and comics. And you get to enjoy it from the comfort of your own home.
That's the best part.
Dog. Now, to help launch this global event, here are my co-hosts from all around the world.
Oi, sou Érico Borgo.
Olá, olá. Eu sou a Aline Diniz.
Magandang araw mga kaibigan, ako po si Gino Killamore. I'm so excited to be here today.
Hola amigos, I'm Damian Moya. It's great to be here.
Hola hermanos de DC, yo soy Karikami y estoy feliz de estar con ustedes en este evento.
Hey, it's Clara.
Hallo zusammen, ich freue mich so sehr dabei zu sein. My name is Dominic.
Cool presence. I think a lot of the
excited to be here.
Minasan, konnichiwa.
A lot of the criticism recently has been it's very U.S. centric, so it's awesome that they have international hosts.
G'day everyone, I'm
this is
Jaden
available
and
for
I'm
everyone
super
across the world.
pumped. Hey, how you doing? Bonjour, moi c'est Terry.
We are going to be bringing you guys closer to your favorite superheroes, their creators, and the stars behind them. Plus, big announcements, guys. I'm talking huge reveals. So, are you guys ready? Let's get this thing started.
Starting off with Wonder Woman! Not Joker. need to watch Watchmen. We'll get around to that eventually. There's so much stuff. So much stuff going on. Who is that? The lightning guy. Not Black Lightning, but it was a different one. I don't remember it at all. Is that Pennyworth? Remember that show came out? Did anyone watch that show? That's kind of... Oof. Okay, like I love sizzle reels, but can we like move along here? We got a schedule.
Wow. Now I'm even more excited to kick off this epic event. This looks so awesome. Okay, just 8 months ago, Warner Brothers traveled to Sao Paulo for CCXP Brazil, where they debuted the first trailer for Wonder Woman 1984. Well, now we are back with Erico and Aline for more thrills surrounding one of the most anticipated movie releases of the year. Erico and Aline, bom dia!
Thank you, Aisha. I am Érico Borgo.
Oi, everyone. I am Aline Diniz, and we're going to have a maravilhoso time today. So, of course, we have to catch up with the amazing talent behind Wonder Woman 1984. So, let's not wait another minute. Here she is, director Patty Jenkins.
Hi. So happy.
Hi, Patty. How are you?
What an incredible way to engage with the fans. We had such a good time in Brazil. We had so much fun that we're super excited to be back together in a new and interesting way, but super happy to be here.
Of course, you've brought more people with you and some faces we did not get to see in Brazil, right, Patty?
That's right. I can't wait to have them here.
The one and only Steve Trevor, Mr. Chris Pine.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So great to
These
have
are
you,
pre-recorded,
and
right?
we wouldn't want to do this without Wonder Woman's new nemesis. So let's welcome Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig?
Yeah.
Hi, Patty. Hi, Chris.
But this film has not one, but two villains. So let's bring in
Oh, yeah.
the Max Lord, Pedro Pascal, please.
My God,
Come
that
on
really
in.
threw me.
Hola. Nice to be here. Hi, everybody.
Hoping we get to see an actual
of
Cheetah
course,
reveal. I
it's
know there's
time
been
now
leaks
for us to
about her
welcome
appearance, but
Wonder Woman herself,
I
Gal
want to see an
Gadot.
official.
Guys, I miss you so much. This is so crazy. This is how
It's
cool.
long.
We miss
Great to see you again.
my Wonder Woman mates.
I just invented this in the moment. I just had
That's
it in
great.
It's
That's
like
good,
my own.
Pedro.
Wait.
We'd love to hear questions from the fans and interact with the fans, and we're excited to hear from everybody today.
Well, it's been 8 months since we met in Brazil, and we know how long that is in fan time. So we're waiting for a DC superhero movie to come out, especially one with this character who is so beloved all around the world, right,
We're
Patty?
waiting for any
Gal?
DC movies.
I
to come
really
out.
think the movie is it's so great on the big screen. We all worked so hard to bring something that would be a big visual, spectacular, great time. So we're gonna stick it out. We believe in, putting it in the cinema, but I can't wait for you all to see more today. We're gonna show a little more, and I can't wait for the movie to come out soon.
Totally. And at least we're also, as much as we want to share the movie with the world, at least we figure out creative ways to communicate with our beloved, most amazing fans. And this is a great opportunity for us to say hello and to thank them and to share something from the movie.
We received so many fan questions. I wish you could get to all of them, but there just isn't time enough in these short 24 hours. So let's start with a video question from Adam in Malaysia. Let's take a look.
Hi DC fandom, I'm Adam from Malaysia and I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan. So my question is, since we're transitioning from World War I to the 1980s, what kind of inspirations that you took to create new and updated costumes for the characters? I hope everybody's having a blast and I can't wait till we see the movie. Bye!
Oh, so sweet. It's a great question because when we did the last movie in 1917, 1918, it was an interesting process where you both have to kind of acclimate yourself to the period and make it very normal to yourself and then make things look the way you want them to look within that context. So Diana always has great taste and always looks elegant. Gal and I had an amazing time finding the most elegant but really grounded things. And Kristen and I had such a great time going back in our memory, remembering what a character like that would dress like, you know, and like the details of it.
Yeah, Lindy Hemming is kind of a genius, really.
She is a
and
genius.
The way that she started to show me, in my experience, these horrifying power suits from the 1980s, you know, and the way that she ended up, I was like, there's just no way I'm gonna look like a fool, like in this 80s stuff, and she was able to make something so sort of animated and specific and feel and be completely stylish and feel like $1 million and serve the purpose of what it was. I was in awe of all of her image boards and how she collaborated. It was really incredible.
But let's go to our next question, which is a video question from Kiara in Japan.
Hi, my name is Kiara from Tokyo, Japan. I love you so much, Gal. What was it like working all together, and do you have any funny stories behind the scenes? Thanks for answering my questions. I love you guys so much.
Oh my God, Kiara!
You're all so cute.
Your vibe and your energy and the jumping. It was so full of energy. We had an amazing time working together, and there's something so well. Catherine is like the drama queen. No, I'm just kidding. But we had such an amazing time, and we got lucky that we all have such great chemistry, and we all
two together.
Adore and love each other.
Friends
that was my favorite thing about the shoot was you guys
Curious
were
if Cheetah
so
lives,
delightful
basically.
to me on set,
That'd be really
and then
cool if she
everybody
can
became
survive
super
the
great
day.
friends, and I would have to stay and work, and you guys would be off there having a good time, and I'm trying to pay attention to the camera, and I'm like, hey, guys, hey, oh. You guys coming back with music videos and everybody's laughing so hard. I mean, that was the most unusual thing to me, to feel like I'm making a film in the middle of like the funniest environment.
All the cool kids were going off to the mall and you had to stay after school.
I had to stay after school watching longingly. It was so funny.
Our next question, I just can't believe it, but we have a massive DC fan here. I think maybe some of you may recognize. Take it away, Venus.
Hi, it's Venus from Miami, so I'm a huge fan. I have a question. So who would win in a tennis match between Wonder Woman and Cheetah? And do you think they'll ever be able to put away their differences and team up for doubles?
I think both of you would overcome your differences to play doubles against her. You guys against each other.
I think Cheetah would win.
Really?
I kind of think Cheetah would win too.
Because Wonder Woman would have she'd have a gold tennis racket to go with everything, and it would just be too heavy, and I'm fast, and I just think that would win.
Very subjective. That's your perspective, and it's okay. I disagree with you on this one, but let's agree to disagree.
Well, then I'll see you on the court.
Okay, so now we're going to Poland with Mina, who has a question for Pedro. Does Pedro Pascal know how much he's loved and appreciated by his fans?
Oh.
Yeah.
They're really. I follow somebody on Tumblr and they post Pedro Pascal pics all the time. It's
Do
crazy.
I know it?
I want to block them, but they post other things. It's just
I love it and I appreciate it, and
too much.
It holds me up through the tough times like these, and I don't know. I'm just so grateful that question exists. Basically.
Next up is a question from Salma in the U.S. for Chris.
Hi, Chris. I'm so happy and so excited for your return to Wonder Woman 1984. My question to you is, how does it feel to be the fish out of water in the 80s from your return, now having Diana Prince guide you around?
Yeah, that interest and curiosity, I would say. It was kind of like it was a good lesson for me as a human being to remind myself to open up and not be so cool, not be so over everything. And, and my job again is to be in love with Gal, which is not a hard gig, and try to make her giggle, which
it's interesting that they didn't gray.
is always fun.
They didn't dye his
He
hair.
does so much more than that, but I like that you always sum it up that way.
Now we have a video questions for everyone from Erin Lynch in the US.
Hi, my name is Erin, and I just wanted to know what was your most memorable moment on set.
Really grayer.
Thank you. I love you.
Yeah.
We love you back.
Yeah, it's interesting
I
they
know what
didn't
mine is.
dye his hair for the movie.
When
they kept him gray.
Gal and I were
because
fighting.
He should be contemporary still with
well, I mean, the
Wonder
characters
Woman,
were fighting.
technically, if he's
And
revived.
we were practicing this stunt, and we got it down, and it was great, and it was going really well. And she grabbed my hair, I think, and wig just came.
You grab it? It got stuck in my gun.
Oh, it got stuck in your thing, and I don't know if we were tired or also it was just we laughed so hard.
Mine was in Washington. I mean, the fact that we'd shut down all of Pennsylvania Avenue to make this huge film. The little 8-year-old kid in you is can't believe that you're doing what you're doing and that you get the privilege of doing it. I don't know, it feels like a dream in some kind of way, like you're stepping into the fantasy of playing make-believe on this scale in all the films that you ever wanted to be in as a kid. So that was a pretty special moment, I think.
Can I change my answer?
Yes.
That was so beautiful.
We've got one last question from a very special guest.
Wow.
You look so beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
I hope they got her for a cameo.
Linda, look at you.
They got her for Supergirl. I mean, they could get her for a movie.
Linda
Come on.
Carter, the reason that we're all here.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Patty. Hello, Gal. Hello,
Mama Bear.
Chris Pedro. Oh my God, Gal. Hello, you beautiful woman.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
So
It's
one day-
such a delightful surprise to have you here.
Thank
This is
you.
so great.
I'm so glad. We think about you every day, Linda, and we talk about you all the time. So this would not be a Wonder Woman panel, truly, if we didn't see your face. So it's so good to see you. So good to have you.
I'm so excited. I've never met you. I've watched your show when I was younger. I had Wonder Woman underoos, and I'm so excited to meet you.
Kristen?
Yes. I was also Wonder Woman for Halloween when I was a little
Linda
girl.
looks like
I mean, I'm
this is
so
not meant to be rude at all, but Linda
You're
looks like she could
I
play
think you're
Cheetah
so
nowadays
great.
too. Like she
So,
has that Michelle
we have a
Pfeiffer
mutual
Catwoman
admiration.
look to her right now.
And anytime when I meet you, will you do me a favor? Will you just throw your arms around me?
Yes, I would wish I could right now.
I'm beyond excited. I'm beyond excited. You know that I have been a fan from day one of Patty's when she was first attached to this film. When my daughter saw Gal as Wonder Woman, she said, "Mom, I finally get it. I finally understand why everyone idolizes you.
Oh.
I finally get what Wonder Woman means to everyone. You know? And that's my daughter. That's my flesh and blood. So thank you, Gal. Thank you, Patty.
That's such a great story. Thank you, Linda. That's such a great story. And like the first time I ever called you, Linda, I said to you, I want you to know we're not here to reinvent Wonder Woman, and we're not here to do a new chapter of Wonder Woman. We just hope to take the torch and pass it forward.
Carry on the torch.
And so that means the world to me, because I was that person who was so moved by you and your performance and the show, the beautiful show that you guys did. So being able to know that somebody as important as your daughter acknowledged that we could be having that effect on her is like a huge compliment.
You are a true life Wonder Woman, and I can't be more grateful to have your guidance and to be able to call you Mama Bear. And knowing your children now, thank you for everything that you've done personally for me, and I'm sure to the world. And this thing is whole because you're here.
Oh,
love you, Linda.
We love you, Linda.
So,
yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
We also had some submissions from fans that sent us pictures of their cosplays and fan art.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I love that one.
Yes.
Exactly like having Linda here. It's like the classic. Like, who doesn't love to see
the star pants? They're so cool.
Gorgeous. Rocking it.
I know, she looks amazing.
I love when I see people, like a man or different people, do Wonder Woman, because it really does go to the core of like, we are all Wonder Woman, and that armor can mean something different on all these different people, and that's a great Wonder Woman costume.
Awesome.
I love it.
I love the armband.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Because I felt like
this is from the first one.
Yeah. The recreation on the beach and everything.
That was your stunt double.
Caught the spirit. Like, beautiful work, beautiful detail.
So look at that shield. Oh my gosh.
Oh, amazing.
Very good.
Wow. It looks exactly like the original one.
My cover got Pedro.
It's like the Norman Rockwell of Wonder Woman things, and so perfect, because it's exactly why we're all here. Like,
look at the shoes she's wearing.
I know. So
always
the red heels.
Emotional about this character we were talking numerous times about the fact that we've seen so many male superheroes, but we haven't seen enough female superheroes. And for little girls, once they see it,
come on,
they
Warner
believe
Brothers.
It,
Where's
so
Zatanna?
for little girls to be exposed to these type of movies, whether it's Wonder Woman or any other female-driven movie in this genre, is so important, because then it's so empowering. I love this piece of art.
This is such
that's a really cool one.
Yeah, I think I posted this one.
Yeah, I love the beautiful, like a different culture being brought to a hero, because it is so universal. And so I love seeing different people take it on and turn it, bring it into something so personal to them. It's just beautiful art too.
I'm Chris Pine.
I love the bracelets.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Just stare deep into the camera.
I thought this was such a
literally
great one.
Chris is literally me.
I just love the spirit of, maybe this is Nubia,
that's cool.
And I love that it's the different Wonder Woman characters, and it's a beautiful piece of work. And
so she said Nubia. Does that mean?
Before we wrap up, Patty, before we say goodbye, I know, and more importantly, the fans here know that you wouldn't have come to the DC fandom without a little something extra for them, right?
That's right, guys. We are so excited to get to be here and see everybody and get to talk to everybody and answer questions for everybody. But it wouldn't quite be a good fan event if we didn't share a little something back. So we have our second official trailer to show you guys.
This is only the second? I feel like they're giving us so much. How is this the second? Okay.
This world is not yet ready for all that you will do.
Okay. Getting more flashbacks to Themyscira.
And everything will be different.
Well, that scene's gonna be dope. Swing out on the lightning.
Citizens of the world, I'm here to change your life. Anything you want, anything you dream of, you can have it. You look like you saw a ghost. Diana, lucky you.
Okay, they did dye his hair a little bit.
Has passed.
I don't want to be like anyone. I want to be an apex predator.
Okay.
You've always had everything, while people like me have had nothing.
Ooh.
Well, now it's my turn.
Okay, this is prototype costume.
Get used to it.
Ooh.
I've never been one for rules. The answer is always more.
Jesus, this lasso.
The way I fly, it will never find us.
I forgot to tell you.
What?
Radar.
Will they shoot at us?
Ooh.
Barbara, what did you do?
Oh. Shit.
You know, I'm not so keen on this one. I figure you are, but you know what? I'm ready to go.
I think
Bro.
we can do better. Parachute pants? Yeah.
Does everybody parachute now?
Bro. Oh, the way they just glossed
That was
over.
great.
That was
amazing.
Thank you,
right?
Patty, for this. Thanks.
Okay,
Can't wait
and
to share more.
Pat, I think you have, as they say, dropped the
Okay.
mic.
Thank you.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Be here with everybody, you guys. I miss you so
Press the wrong
much.
buttons.
Patty, Gal, Chris, Kristen, Pedro,
Bro.
thank you so much for stepping into the DC fandom
we should
with
have a couple
us
minutes to
today.
talk
Thank
about it.
you. Thank you.
Obrigado.
Guten Tag, meine Freunde. I'm Dominic Porschen, your German host. Now, before we reveal our
German
next
host.
huge announcement from WB Games,
Oh,
can
yeah.
we talk about what we just
Freaking
saw from
Suicide
Wonder Woman
Squad, isn't it?
1984? Are you
Or no, this is
kidding
gonna be
me?
the
I thought I
Gotham
was
Knights
excited before, but now I literally
right?
cannot wait for
That's
this
what it's
film
called, yeah.
to hit the big screen. I'm so excited to be hanging out with all of you today here in the DC fandom. I'm a huge fanboy myself, and together we are the reason comic books are published. We are the reason
Okay, I don't know
superhero
if
movies
you're gonna
and
say
TV
something
shows are
important,
made.
so I don't want to
So
mute
today,
you, but
it's all about us, the fans. In fact, to celebrate you and your fandom, we are highlighting your art submissions and creative cosplay. Take a look at this art.
okay. I'm just gonna mute him in the background. So, oh my God. Like, everyone's been waiting for Cheetah, and she looks amazing. But now that I see her, I kind of, just trying to think. That's a nice Wonder Woman. But oh my God, there's so much stuff going on right now. I can't even think. But that was Michael B. Jordan as Belzot. Come on. Okay, Justice League. Okay, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. Think about Wonder Woman. Can't wait for the movie. I don't know if we got a new release date yet because of obviously all the coronavirus stuff going on. Who the hell is that girl? But you know, it looks like Cheetah's gonna have different appearances. Obviously, she's gonna transform some more. Curious to see how that happens. If it's more mystical, well, it's obviously gonna be mystical, but is it through the gods or is it gonna be through Pedro Pascal, who seems to be Maxwell Lord seems to be doing something with crystals, I believe, was the theory. It's been a long time since we've gotten that theorizing, to be honest, so I'm not positive exactly what was happening again. But yeah, I'm just curious to see, excited to see that transformation take place. It does look like they're friends at the beginning, you know, from the last trailer we got. they're having a nice little conversation. So it's so weird to see the sinister turn in this trailer where Barbara is so spiteful and vengeful against her already. I want to see that development. What happened? You know, what did Wonder Woman do that hurt her so much? Was it just existing? Did she actually do something to Barbara? You know, how valid of a villain origin is it? Excited to see that. Excited to see how much Maxwell Lord plays into the story. So far, he's not really done much in the trailers, and I hope that, you know, as much as I want to see the movie, I don't want to see more trailers right now. I just want to see the movie and go in. But this is just my thoughts, is like, what's going on with Maxwell Lord? Just kind of want to see his story, because how he fits into all of this. Obviously, he seems to be megalomaniacal, and he wants to, I think, almost spread power to everybody, make everyone super in some way. You know, he talks about a lot about, I can give you power or whatever. Anyways, I just want to see how he functions into this, and where does his source of power come from. Cause I think he's a telepath in the comics or something. What's going on here?
We've received reports of an explosion somewhere north of the city.
We're still waiting for the police to confirm if there
Gotham
are
Knights.
any
Let's go.
victims. This story is evolving rapidly. Please bear with us.
We heard this really loud boom. There was smoke everywhere.
Emergency services have confirmed that they've discovered a body buried in the wreckage. We're still waiting for further details.
It appears that a large portion of the building has actually collapsed.
In international news, an explosion rocked Gotham City earlier today.
We are now able to confirm that billionaire philanthropist Bruce Wayne is...
So this is post Arkham Knight, because he exploded his spoilers. Bruce Wayne killed himself at the end of the Arkham Knight in an explosion. So ooh.
If you're watching this, I'm dead. This is a code black.
Is that Jason? Or is that Bruce?
This message was automatically triggered when I destroyed the cave and everything it contained.
Barbara, you're standing.
We both know it won't take long for Gotham's criminals to realize the Batman is gone. And you can't count on the GCPD. Haven't trusted us since Jim died.
What? Jim's dead?
Gotham will need its protectors more than ever.
That Nightwing?
I'm leaving you the Belfry as base of operations. Some of the technology is outdated, but it has
There's Tim, I'm guessing.
My files. You've always had my back.
Is that Damian?
I know you'll keep Gotham safe. Good luck.
Is this actually a sequel to Arkham Knights, or is this a multiverse kind of deal? Okay. So that is Jason. Babs. Dick. Is that supposed to be Tim or Damian? Because if this is Arkham Knight, the Arkham games, that's not Tim. Tim is bald. But he also used the bow staff, so that's Tim, right? Looks so sleek. Yes, the Tonfa, awesome. Okay. From crime fighters to vigilantes. Ooh. Bro, this looks so nice. Excuse me? They got team-ups back, awesome. Damn. Freeze. Court of Owls. I was just about to say, it's very story-light. Ooh, look at that talent.
Not a whisper word is said. For if you try to cross them,
you'll only wind up dead.
The talon strikes you dead.
Oh, the talon strikes you dead. Damn. It's like freaking talons. Step into the night. A date. 21-21. Okay, fair enough.
I'm Patrick Redding.
Oh my God. You know we're getting that game.
We're both from Warner Brothers Games Montreal, and we're both thrilled to finally be able to show you Gotham Knights.
You may be wondering why we chose to tell this story and focus on these characters.
We wanted to shake up the status quo of Gotham City. We wanted to see what happens when you take away the safety of Batman's presence and then find out what happens. What happens when these heroes, the Bat Family, Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Robin, have to step up.
Robin, who is it?
Take on the role of new protectors of Gotham.
What's really exciting about Gotham Knights is that you, the player, will be able to grow these characters how you see fit.
Okay.
You get to see how you would step up and become Gotham's protector. You're not trying to become the new Batman. You're becoming your own badass superhero.
And as a bonus, we brought gameplay footage. This is captured in
Nice.
engine from a recent build. And
I hope
we
they have
just
some
can't wait for you to
DLC.
see this. Take a look.
Add in spoiler or Black Bat. The game hasn't even come out yet, and I'm like already asking for more people. maybe they'll be in there. Who knows? Okay, Mr. Freeze again. Let's go. Good. I'm glad we're getting back up because she looked like the best. She's the one I'm most interested to play as.
Elliott Center is covered in ice. Whatever's causing this is localized at the top.
Definitely Freeze's handiwork. You'd best hurry.
That's what the bike's for.
I'm not really digging the voice actors. I wish they were. It's not. It can't be set in the same universe as Arkham. Robin joined the session. Multiplayer confirmed. Four-player co-op possible, probably.
All units at Elliott Center.
It might be two-player, but we'll see.
Hostiles opening fire on upper floors. Air support, can you do a fly around?
On it.
Damn, look at that.
We need a way to get through that ice. We need to get past these guys first.
This frickin' Robin can teleport.
If he wants to fight, he'll get it.
What is up with this dude? He's literally teleporting everywhere. Level 10 looks like. Okay, so there's some sort of persistent world maybe. Damn good. Okay, there's some stealth mechanics. I like that, the health bars. That's a much needed thing from the previous games. Some sort of combo bar at the bottom there. Finishers maybe?
Heard you're down there having some fun. Fun's one word.
Or experience bar, I don't know what that is.
The chopper's under orders to fire on anything that
Renee Montoya. The problem with the Gotham universe is there's just so much that you want everything, and it's not realistic, so I'm gonna temper. We got the 4. We'll deal with the 4, okay?
The GCPD chopper made that part easy. This doesn't look up to code.
I want to see what Robin looks like, because he has some sort of, like, cold gear, looks like. But this environment looks really awesome. God damn.
If anyone asks, I meant to do that.
That's a Red Robin outfit, isn't it? That's Red Robin. So it's Tim.
Tours were still going
But it's also a
on
different
when
outfit
freaks
from
came through.
the trailer, so I'm assuming there's costume variation.
This will only take a second.
Jeez. Batgirl. Is that like an extendo Tonfa? What the hell? Oh, she's got another one. Ah, her fighting style. Oof. Oof in a good way, sorry. That's sometimes I think as I say it, it sounds like a bad thing. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, she is doing finish. I don't know. Her bar went down there, so I don't know what she did. There's a team up attack.
Not the safest time to take the elevator.
You'd rather take the stairs?
These cables on the floor. Guaranteed they lead to freeze.
I'm not really digging her voice actress, but we'll see.
Belfry, status.
Countless dead, and the temperature's still falling.
We need to stop this. Now.
Belfry wasn't kidding about this storm.
Almost there.
God damn, freeze, what the hell?
Weather machine, ready with the disruptor.
That thing's drawing so much power.
Okay, boss fight time.
Field disruptors in place. It's charging.
Yep, look out. Paratrooper freeze, my god.
From my storm engine.
Is that what you're calling it? You don't want to be on the roof when this disruptor goes off. Trust me.
Irrelevant. I already have what I need.
So then why you mad? Oh.
Storm has risen over Gotham. Nothing can stop it.
We'll see about that.
Well, she... Okay. Batarangs. Get out there, girl! Ugh. Okay, status effect it looks like.
You will not stop me.
And the bottom left again. Yeah, well the white is her health bar. Purple is a combo meter, it looks like. Finisher, kind of special move kind of thing.
Keep yourself to the cold.
What's she doing? Ooh! What the hell?
That was amazing!
Oh my god.
That was so good. That was so good. Thank you so much, Patrick and Flora, for giving us this insight, all this info. I, for one, can't wait to play it. I'm sure everybody at home can't wait to play it. Speaking of everyone at home, before you take off, if that's okay, we'd like to answer a few fan questions. Yeah, cool. Here we go. Callum from the UK asks, what has driven you the most in the direction of this game?
Wow. Well, I'd say really there have been kind of three consistent ideas at the heart of Gotham Knights. First is having like a whole cast of playable characters
that's probably the best part.
Continue to grow and reinvent themselves. Second a real living, breathing Gotham City that keeps challenging you, keeps serving up danger. And then finally, it's that fantasy of the superhero team up. And we wanted to be able to deliver that in co-op play.
Nice.
Copy that. Alistair from Kenya asks, what goes into deciding which characters you are going to develop a game around?
Well, we chose characters who resonate with players on a few different axes. We wanted heroes who embodied different aspects of the Bat family. The detective side, as well as the fighter, the scourge of the underworld, the urban legend. We looked for characters that offer players a unique starting point and then a long runway for growth. Ultimately, we wanted heroes that could take on the forces that threaten Gotham City, but each bringing their own.
It's a good
unique
answer, but also
Okay.
you could just say the four the four basic
from the
ones.
United
You know?
States. Homegrown.
Dick, Jason,
Riley from the United
Babs,
States asks,
Tim.
could you give
The first
anything
four.
more on this WB Games Montreal game? Any other little tidbits?
We're actually sort of standing in it. The Belfry will be a very important location in
Yeah,
Gotham
probably the
Heights.
hub.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we gotta keep some
Base.
secrets. We're gonna have
Yeah, please keep the
more
secrets.
to talk about later.
We can tell you this: the mystery in Gotham Knights is way bigger than just the protocols.
Ooh,
Well, is there anything else that you would like us
that's actually a
to
really
know?
cool tease. Something bigger
Well,
than the Court of
Our
Owls.
game is coming out in
Or there's
2021,
more to it than
and
just
we
the Court of
can't wait
Owls.
for everyone to play it.
Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Patrick and Floor, for sharing everything that you have. To everybody out there, I hope you've been enjoying DC Fandom. Continue to enjoy DC Fandom.
Why do
I'm
you have all those
Zach Levi.
freaking cards
Love
anyways? Like what? You only had like 3 questions. Why do you need all those cue cards?
Wow. Just wow. Honestly, I've been yearning to step in the
God.
boots of those characters for a long time. I guess dreams really do come true.
Yeah, see, look at 4 basic
and
ones.
don't go anywhere. We
See,
will
that looks
be
like Tim
back
though.
with
Is
the
or
Flash
Damien?
in a
Is that?
flash. So unless you can be in two
Is
places
it Damien or
at
is it
once,
Tim?
be
But he
sure
was wearing
to
a Red
stay
Robin
with us.
costume.
Hey everybody, I'm Tyrone Edwards, your Canadian host, and I
Ooh,
want to
what
know
is that?
how
Oh,
much
Sandman.
you're loving DC
That's
fandom.
Sandverse,
So
whatever.
tweet your reply.
I should check the schedule quick because I might take a little break here. I think there is gonna be, you know, Sandman. What's it called? I'm sorry. The Sandverse. Yeah, Sandman Universe is starting now. The next thing's at 11:15, which is not Octavia Spencer. I'm sorry, that was not. I know who she is. Yeah, Yvette Nicole Brown. She was in Drake and Josh. Anyways, let me see. I don't know. I personally just, if I,
modern comics era. It has been translated in over 15
I know the
languages
Sandman
and
universe
available in
is
over
very
30
big. Look at there's
territories.
Etrigan.
I am thrilled
Obviously,
to
it
be
has a
here
lot
with
of
Neil Gaiman.
overlap,
Hi, Neil. Nice
but
to see you
like
again.
Hi, Matt. Lovely to see you.
I'm
Oh,
already
you
in
look
too
so
much
good in your little
fandoms.
box.
I can't.
Now,
I
Neil,
can't.
you
can't
started
extend
the
to
Sandman as a ground-up
Sandman also.
reimagining of an older DC property.
So if you guys want to watch it on your own, now's the time. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what we've seen so far. I don't. Do I just go like this? Okay. So, what do I say? We've only had 2 panels so far, and I feel like I there's been so much. We'll go back to Gotham Knights for a second. You know, I mentioned it while I was talking. Very excited for that. As much of if you guys know me, you know I'm a Dick Grayson fan. Okay, as much as I love Dick Grayson, they just cannot get him right in video games for whatever reason. Like, I hate what he looks like. You know, we didn't get to see his gameplay a little. We saw a teaser in the trailer, but other than that, we don't really know how he's gonna play. I'm excited for that. He was one of the. I liked playing as him in the Arkham games. I just didn't like looking at him. And I feel like that's one of the important parts of him, right? You know, one of the important aspects of that character is that he is easy on the eyes, and they just can't get him right in these games. Um, but pretty much the obligatory choice for the game. We got Jason, who I'm very. I didn't have a problem with him in Arkham Knight, um, but we didn't really get to see him too much as a hero, or an anti-hero rather. So I'm excited to see this game's take on him, um, and how they differentiate him his from the others. Obviously, he has guns, so they showed a little bit of that. But um, yeah, I mean, I like the interpretation in Arkham Knight. It'll be cool to see a more traditional interpretation here, and kind of going on a tangent. I'm interested to see how you play each character in the sense of, do you get to choose which one you start off as? Are they all available? Is it, mission locked characters? Um, what what does the character select kind of look like there? Um, because if it's all available, are they all having unique voice lines in every mission? Are they getting their own personal story missions that you get to do? Or is it more of, you get to reskin the player character in different styles, but as far as their own personal story, there is none, because they are varying personalities and mottos and motivations and all that stuff. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you want to play as Dick Grayson, do you get to choose him from the start, play him through the whole game, no matter what? Are there certain missions where, okay, you start off as Dick Grayson, but then you unlock, Barbara, and you have to play her for the Mr. Freeze mission, and Dick Grayson is doing something else during that mission. Um, because again, if you're playing as one character the whole time, then you want to see some growth with that character, versus if you're playing different. I don't know. They haven't really told us enough about it, so I'm just, one of my worries is that we're not going to get as much story depth with the playable characters, because they're going to be optional in the story based on if you want to play as them or not. Whereas the villains, obviously, they're pretty standard. Like, you're going to face Mr. Freeze at one point, you're going to face the Court of Owls at one point. So we're going to get development with those characters, but not necessarily the heroes. Barbara looks really cool. Like I said, probably once I get to the game, once the game comes out, she'll probably be my first pick, because like pretty much in every game that she's been in, Injustice 1, Arkham Knight, there's probably other games too, but those are the main ones that come to mind. Her playstyle is really awesome, and here too it looks pretty cool. So I'm very excited to play as her. Robin, again, I don't know. Do you guys know if it's Tim or Damien? Just based on the way he looks, it's, I don't know, man. But regardless, uh, I think the most interesting thing about Robin character is that he can teleport, apparently, which seems very overpowered. Curious to see the distance on that, and reaction time. How does that interact with like stealth? Because he did have invisibility too, so he seems like a very sneaky character, which I do tend to. I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed, and I chose more of a stealth approach rather than upfront. Um, so it'd be cool to kind of tinker with him a little bit. And again, like, going off on a tangent, is it going to be upgradable move sets and stuff? Because my mind is sort of set on the Arkham games, but I think it's becoming more apparent that it's not. Let me do some. I don't know. Let me just. Batman Gotham Knights. That's the comic book. Okay. That's WB Games Montreal. They worked on Origins. That's right. Okay. And the DLC for Arkham Knight. That's interesting. Okay. Um. Hmm. Why was I searching? Oh, just for playstyle, like, um, because the Arkham games are pretty linear as far as not only story but also character development, upgrades and skill trees and stuff like that. But the way they were talking here, it sounds like there's more customization in that aspect. Um, so it makes me wonder if you guys have played the recent Assassin's Creeds. You have skill trees, um, and it's possible to unlock everything in theory, but it takes a lot of grinding. I think that's the best way to do skill trees, but it is fun sometimes when there are locked paths where if you take one branch, the other branch is locked. Um, so I'm wondering if that's what they're doing, or is it more of the Arkham games are more linear in that you can unlock everything over time, pretty easily. You get all the upgrades basically. Um, but again, the way they were talking, it sounds like it's more. They mentioned a little bit of customization, play your own way kind of stuff. So I'm assuming there's gonna be more skill trees rather than unlockables, upgrades. So I'm very excited for that. What that means, like, so take for instance Robin. Is that gonna mean you can choose either teleportation or invisibility, not both? Um, because again, that seems pretty strong if you can have both. Just teleport in, take someone out. They spotted you, go invisible, teleport away. They'll have no idea where you are. Um, uh, yeah, the game looks beautiful. Um, I thought Arkham Knight looked beautiful, and this just looks like an improved version of that graphically. So very excited for that. Cool to see Mr. Freeze. I don't like him when he's a villain. I like him more when he's reluctant, but here he kind of looked very sinister. But he always had the best boss fights in the games. Arkham City was a very memorable boss fight where you couldn't take him down the same way twice. You had to whittle him away in different takedown methods. So curious to see how that boss fight goes. Court of Owls, pretty awesome. We haven't touched on that yet, so that's another reason why it makes me think this is a sequel to Arkham Knight, especially with the roster they've got. We've already seen Dick, Barbara, Jason, and if that is Tim, we've already seen Tim. So they've all been there. It's just stylistically, it doesn't feel like it's the same universe. Um, Especially because again, spoiler talk, but didn't Bruce survive at the end? Like, I know he faked his death because um, I think Scarecrow found out his identity or something. He was going to leak it to the world, so he faked his death. But then at the end, didn't he? Or did he actually kill himself? No, I'm like, I just got to the Red Hood reveal um, on my replay, so I'll have to actually finish the game now and figure it out before Gotham Knights comes out. Um, 'Cause yeah, like I said, stylistically it looks a lot like the Arkham games. Even some of the character designs, like Barbara, that looks a lot like the. I think it was more. I'm gonna have to actually watch this video again, but I think it was more Rebirth kind of. Sorry, I'm in Discord also. Odyssey Nightmares, Luke Gating. Hope it's Damien. We know Todd and Grayson. Guess it's Tim. It looks Red Robin-ish, yeah. Grayson and Todd, the better fighters. Since Tim was in Arkham Knight. Okay, let me see. What was I? what did I need to watch this for again?
In breaking news, we've received reports of an...
Oh, I was gonna look at their character designs. Let me go to this group shot here. Okay. Oh my god, the quality, please, sir. Yeah, it's... But again, there's customization because she is not wearing this outfit in the snow mission, but obviously she needs polar gear, so there's too many... The fact that they did a specifically environmental story mission, it's really fucking with me right now because both Robin and Barbara were wearing different outfits than they were wearing in the trailer. And that could just be because of polar gear. And I don't want to assume that is, in which case it's just story. They have story outfits versus customization. I mean, I'm sure they have customization outfits though too. Come on, this is Arkham games. We could always have Batman in the animated series version, running around doing stuff. Like, so it's probably different costumes. But I'm guessing the world premiere trailer, as it's called here, these outfits are the canon in-game ones. And again, Nightwing just looks... What the hell is wrong with him? Like, he's supposed to be a gymnast, not a freaking football player. What the hell? Let me see these people. Okay. Robin. He looks like classic Tim. Like... Let me... Can I... Oh, God. Hey, Neil Gaiman. That's not Neil Gaiman. That's... What's his face? You know... Michael... Not Michael Sheen, is it? No. Whatever. Window capture. That's not it. Let me add this. Nope. How much time we got? We still got 15 minutes. Okay. Let's do display capture. Okay. So, Tim here. I'm assuming it's Tim. Because if this is the canon outfit of Robin in this game, I can't see that as Damien. He's not brown enough. The haircut is not a Damien-looking haircut. It is a Damien-looking outfit. I could see that because he is it's very urban-looking, very streetwear. But also the fact, I feel like they're gonna do an amalgam Tim Damien thing. Which my fear in that is that it means by extension there's no story for these characters because if they can interchange Tim with Damien, then they're not gonna be able to do any character development for them. Oh my god, sorry. I'm messing up right now. Anyways, we'll keep going. Bow staff, obviously a Tim weapon versus a sword, which would be Damien's. So that's another point for Tim. Barbara here. I'm not sure what's going on with her little ears. She's moving so fast. Can you just stand still for a second? Okay, whatever. She's got tonfa, but again, it looks very... oh my god, let me get a picture of her actually. Before... Okay. Oh my god, the way that... This is so janky. Welcome to the stream, everyone. This is, if you're new to the channel, this is what you can expect. Barbara Gordon. Fuck it, that's not what I want. Batgirl. Of Burnside. Her outfit here looks very much like this. It looks a bit more armored in the game, but here, and the cowl is a bit different, obviously. She's got a domino mask in the game. but they took a lot of inspiration of this outfit, it looks like, which is the most recent one, so that's fair. Um, sneakers. uh, yeah, I'm very excited to play her. Again, her look in the snow mission looked a lot more armored and closer to the Arkham Knight version, and Injustice version. Nightwing, I don't know. He just looks weird. There's something. He's too chonky. I don't know. There's just something about him that sits wrong with me. Uh, cool for that move. I love that move. Here he looks okay, to be honest, compared to some of the other shots. The hair looks better. I mean, the hair looks terrible. Don't get me wrong. Like there needs to be some polish for this game, but the hairstyle looks like it matches better than some of the other shots they showed. Um, and then obviously Red Hood here. Uh, Nothing much to say. I mean, Red Hood's a pretty simple design. He's got a couple different variations of his costume, but this is pretty on the money, what you'd expect of Red Hood, and gameplay style too. We saw some of it in Arkham Knight, obviously. Uh, Very excited to see. Again, story repercussions. If you're playing as Red Hood versus the other guys, he's off killing people. Does that change the gameplay at all? Like, does that change the story at all? Um, do the other characters care? So some things it is so early in the game, or in the technically in the game's life so far. It's not even out yet and still in production, but it's so early to decide and think about what's important or not. But these are just some thoughts on my mind. Co-op, obviously. Here we go. Again, Robin can go invisible for whatever reason, which fits along with more of Tim because of gadgets. His teleport and his invisibility would definitely be gadget focused, and he is supposed to be the smart one, which is less Damien, he's an assassin and everything, but he's not so much a gadgeteer as Tim is, or some of these other characters even. Um, that teleport though, God. Electro, that looks like a fun mission. You can wall run and stuff. Didn't even think about that. Yeah. The bikes I'm not really a fan of, stylistically, but hopefully you can change those too. You could change the Batmobile, so. Yada yada yada, and then the Court of Owls stuff. Very excited for. Um, but yeah. Let's see what else people are saying. Being co-op is gonna be a lot of fun. Love the look of Freeze. 4-player co-op. That seems a bit too much. 2-player co-op max. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited for Gotham Knights to come out and get my hands on it. Oh my god, and we have what even is it? Suicide Squad versus Kills the Justice League, whatever. When is that? Did they move that? I'm not seeing it. It's at 5:10. Oh my god, bro. It's gonna be a fucking long ass day. Oh my, okay, this is a 5-minute panel. What the hell? Okay, we'll turn him back on. turn Sandman
of
back
it.
on.
Not, and I'm not using conceit pejoratively there, but the scale of the imagination, all of Neil's misspent years in libraries as a kid, all that reading is just pouring out on the page, a sort of torrent, like a dump tank of ideas. And to have started this journey in audio, particularly where we're sticking very close to the originals, is great, because I know, well, we all know where it's going to go, but the journey of discovery is getting an actor. I mean, when Michael comes in and starts playing Lucifer, I'm thinking, oh, wow, I can't wait to hear where this is going to go. And of course, we have all that to look forward to, and the rest of the cast as well. So, I hats off to Neil. It's an astonishing piece of work.
Willow, how about you? Why do you think the Sandman endures?
To me, what was really astonishing about Sandman, especially the first time that I read it through as a teenager, was that unexpected people were at the center of the story. I think, we're kind of taught to look to the most obvious figures to be heroes, the politicians, the famous people, all of this. Whereas in Sandman, the guy sitting next to you on the bus could be Lucifer or the King of Dreams. And as such, you get stories about characters who I think were kind of pushed to the margins, especially at the time, in other types of stories, right? And now they're at the center. And that makes you look twice at the world around you. It makes you sort of question, who is telling the story, and what point of views are we missing, and who is unmourned. I mean, that also really struck me, is that, like, this came out in the middle of the AIDS epidemic when, a lot of people were trying to push, these deaths and this terrible thing that was happening under the rug. And Sandman said, no, pay attention. This is important. These people are important. And that was very striking to me. And I think that's part of the reason that it still feels so relevant, because it kind of reminds you there are still stories we haven't heard. There's still things we're afraid to talk about, and it's the people around you who could be the true spinners of tales, and that really has stuck with me through the years.
Well, that answer was amazing.
I've thought about this a lot.
Oh gosh, it was so good, you Willow. I want to thank all of you for this wonderful time. I had the best time talking to all of you. But before we go, we can't forget about the dedicated fans. We asked and they responded, and we get it. You want to know about the Netflix show. So Neil, can you tell us anything? We've been asked about when it will be released.
I thought it was already out.
About the
The
cast
audiobook
details.
is out. That's
what
right.
can you tell us, Neil?
Well, I can tell you that due to COVID, everything, as with every other piece of television being made around the world right now, somebody pushed a giant pause button. And we've taken advantage of our pause button just to try and get the scripts as close to perfect
Alex Ross paintings
as we possibly could, which has been really fun. And that right now, as the universal pause button is starting to come off, we're starting to cast again. I'm getting these inspiring and wonderful emails with production designs, with places that I've only ever seen in the comics before, now being rendered in 3D, and I'm being asked to comment on it. That's amazing. There's not a lot I can say. Something that I will say is part of the joy of doing the audio adaptation was going, this is going to be the nearest thing we can do to an audiobook of those first 3 graphic novels, and hopefully all of the graphic novels. And we're going to start it in 1988. And we're going to, it's going to end in about 1991 or 1992. Sandman is a very compressed story, even though it takes place all through time and space. That's where that story takes place. What we're doing with Netflix is saying, okay, it's still going to start in 1916.
See, I'm not sure about this.
Like
I like the smirk.
Happens
easier to look
in Sandman 1.
I like the smirk, but the hairstyle is just not.
Starts.
I don't like it.
Is not 1988. It's now, And how does that change the story? What does that give us? What does that make us have to look at that we wouldn't have had to look at if we were setting it as a period piece? What is that going to do to the gender of characters? What is that going to do to the nature of characters? What's that going to do to the story? And that has been an absolute delight, because it means we are always being true to the story and being true to the characters, but it gives us tremendous freedom to go, okay, if we were doing it now, what would Sandman be? And that, again, is very liberating.
Well, as a fan myself, I cannot wait to see it. And I just wanted to share that I was a tiny part of the Sandman universe. Check this out. It's a drawing by artist Domo Stanton of me flying through the city.
That's cool.
Lovely.
I look good. Well, thank you all so much. It's been wonderful chatting about the Sandman. Thank you, G. Willow, Dirk Maggs, Michael Sheen, and of course, Neil Gaiman. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of DC Fandom.
Dreams, nightmares, demigods, and fallen angels. I am officially in and can't wait to dig into Sandman. Right now, let's get back to hearing from our fans and see what questions they, or maybe even you, have.
Yeah, there's a DC's panel later today. I forgot. Holy should we damn? I want to say, my God.
Already, Batwoman kind of stands out because she doesn't technically have like a superpower. Everything that she uses to fight bad guys is more of her intelligence,
she's a new character,
and Luke, and her physical strength. So I do look forward to seeing that, or for playing in that perspective, like from a Ryan perspective, from like this street kid's perspective, from a person that saw these superheroes growing up. Because that was also really important for Ryan, you know, to see Batwoman be an out lesbian, and to have a, you know, a superhero role model to look up to. And then now all of a sudden I'm filling those shoes. So to not only fill those shoes, but to play amongst the ones that have already been doing it, I think that that's going to be a lot for her. I'm sure it's going to be a culture shock for her, but I also think that it's really cool because it's really like when that world meets the superhero world and it's in all of its dynamics.
Hola mi gente, I'm Gabby Cam, your host from Mexico City. For nearly 60 years, DC has played with the intriguing concept of the multiverse. It allows multiple dimensions all to exist at the same time, which means multiple versions of me could actually exist right now. And not only that, on these other worlds, I could be a different gender, ethnicity, a villain, or even an alien. I wish I knew what kind of alien I would be. Maybe in this panel, I will find out.
The multiverse has been at the heart of DC almost from the very start. But the moment most fans think of is this one. In the Silver Age of comics, when the Flash met the Flash in 1961. In Flash of Two Worlds, DC created a story where the Flash could be Barry Allen and Jay Garrick at the very same time, and created the architecture that would allow DC to be expansive, inclusive in their storytelling and in their universe, and is the world that fans now know, and also laid the groundwork for the ambitious crossover event Crisis on Infinite Earths. Crisis on Infinite Earths brought the DC multiverse to fans, bringing together DC superheroes and supervillains in a truly epic event. But this is not the first time DC has explored the multiverse, and trust me, it will not be the last time fans will see it, as DC is fully embracing this exciting creative concept and how it can open up endless opportunities for storytelling for our comic books, TV shows, film, and games creators.
There's Infinite Earths, but there's also
Here
52.
in the DC fandom, I am so excited to have our own crossover moment and talk about what the multiverse really is for DC, how it informs every story DC tells, and how fans can expect to see it on the page or on the screen moving forward. I'm Tiffany Smith, and I'm so excited to welcome our panelists here today.
DC,
First up, we have got
Marvel.
a legendary comic book artist in his own right. He is also the chief creative
Who did it
officer and
first?
publisher for DC, and he sits at the heart of everything DC does and is a master of the multiverse, Jim Lee.
Thank you.
Next up, he oversees DC's films, which run the gamut from The Joker to Aquaman, and has huge plans for where DC movies are about to go next. Walter Hamada, how you doing, sir?
Hello, I'm good. Great to be here.
And finally, one of the key architects of DC's Arrowverse and the amazing Crisis crossover event, he is executive producer of nearly a dozen fan-favorite DC shows like Batwoman, The Flash, Supergirl, Doom Patrol, Titans, and the upcoming Superman and Lois, and many, many more. It's Greg Berlanti. How are you?
Very good, very good. Great to be here.
Let's just kind of go to the top of it, and I'm going to go to you, Jim. What exactly is the DC multiverse for people who may not know?
Yeah, I think when people think about superheroes, they know the names, the costumes, the powers, the origins, and it kind of tends to be this sort of monolithic kind of thing. But one of the things that really is distinct and unique to DC is that it's the first large work of fiction that has leaned upon this idea that we are not alone.
Okay, so DC did it first, basically, what I'm hearing.
But that there are alternate realities that sit side by side with us, and the infinite number. And on each of these different Earths, we exist, but maybe in slightly different variations, right? We might be a different gender on another planet, or we might be furry creatures. And this extends to all the superheroes. So you start seeing this kind of endless spectrum of characters that you can create. And so it allows us to have the freedom and to create different versions and then lean upon that canon as we, change up the mythology and the pantheon of characters to better reflect the true diversity and inclusivity that our audiences want and that our audiences live in.
And you kind of touched on it already, Jim, but let's go to you, Greg. How do you feel like the multiverse really informs the stories that you tell through DC TV?
I would say that when we started out just with Arrow, 8-9 years ago now, it wasn't our intention to replicate what everyone had done so brilliantly in comics. And it wasn't until The Flash came along and we tried in the pilot of The Flash to put the two of them on screen together that I remember watching that first scene of the two of them together and thinking like, oh, wow, this makes me feel like the DC books made me feel. Like 1 + 1 = 3. The other thing it allows for is the vastness. You really feel the vastness of each of these different worlds. And I think it adds to the importance of these heroes and the myth of them. And that's been really exciting. And again, the element of surprise. If the universe that everyone's constructing, the different showrunners and creators and directors and, obviously with Walter and Jim helping shepherd all of it, if it can go to all those different places and still be tethered together, I think just as an audience member, I want to show up and not know, like, who might I see here, and I think that's incredibly
not be
exciting.
limited by.
Well, and I think it's something too where we talk about comic book writers getting to play with the characters in different ways. Same thing on the TV shows, where when you bring a character from one show into another show, those writers now get to play with that character or a different version of them, which I think the fans, myself included, have loved seeing on TV.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun for the actors. They love it when they play a villain version of themselves from another planet. Everybody loves to play a villain.
Yeah, they do.
Some of the greatest evils known to man, and you've defeated them. If you think so highly of yourselves that you can defeat any threat that comes your way,
It's like, who did you think? Obviously, it's you guys.
How do you feel about us?
What did you think?
And like you said, you weren't really thinking at the outset about getting to this place of Crisis on Infinite Earths and seeing all of that. Can you talk to us a little bit about just leading up to that and everything that happened before, and maybe like when you got to the point where you're like, yeah, this is something we really want to talk about?
Well, I mean, really, it was so much of our motto behind the scenes was to try and create episodes and seasons and shows that we would want to watch. And so it just inevitably kind of kept going in that direction. One of my fellow EPs, Mark Guggenheim, is my own personal encyclopedia for a lot of knowledge of these things, and was really, the centerpiece of production-wise pulling the scope of those things together. And I would be remiss if I didn't just say just how much his own passion for all that has been, very inspiring. But But we sort of kept just building block by block, and then truly in the last couple of years, and again in working with Walter and with Jim, it's really it's kind of taken a whole new level. We never thought we'd even be allowed to do Crisis, it was a pipe dream. We just kind of kept finding new ways to get all of our characters together, and then the year before we did Crisis, we said, well, what if we just say coming next year, Crisis, and everyone's like, okay, yeah, you can say that. Well, and I was like, well, I guess they've approved it then. Now we get to go. And that it was really epic. I mean, there were just so many, obviously, so many Easter eggs and so many different little characters. But then, the guys calling about saying that if we could we possibly fit in Ezra? Is that a possibility? That's really
the Ezra cameo.
The first time historically combining a TV character and a film character in that way. Is I think it feels like the beginning of a whole new generation of how we can begin to do these things.
People on Twitter,
and
they literally said it best. Like that changed everything really when they did that.
Well, I feel like a kid in a candy store being like,
the
"We
world
got
changed.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. What's next?" But can you talk a little bit about what's going to happen in the world's post Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Well, we are yes, because certain worlds have been combined. We're mindful of that now. In terms of how that will affect certain shows. And, in terms of what our crossover event will be next year, I think truly because of COVID right now and the pandemic, our aspirations aren't quite as large. We'd just like to start shooting again. That would be, nice. Happy to invite any feature characters that, the guys want to have on. I think that was truly a thrill.
How did that crossover event happen with Ezra, and talk about the conversation of when you guys were like, could this work? Can we get him here?
We'd been developing on the feature side our Flash script for a while, which was leaning into the idea of
a long ass time
and playing in that sandbox. And again, I'm focused very much on the movies and what we're doing, and Jim was just like, would you, since we're leaning into the multiverse, do you think Ezra would ever do this crossover? I picked up the phone, called him, and before I could even finish the pitch, he was like, I'm in. Tell me when, where. He's just such a fan, I think, of the character, and I think of the universe, and he understands the importance of Flash
it's tough.
and the character.
I know there's a big Ezra controversy.
In that idea of
I
the
hope
multiverse, that he immediately jumped on it, and then at that point,
I hope it's not true, but
Jim ran with it.
We were in a meeting, I think it was
strictly
Walter,
based on his personality.
Peter was there. We kind of threw out this idea, and Peter was like, let me talk to Greg about this. And this was last minute too, right?
But we had shot the crossover. So
yeah, exactly. This is like right before the holidays.
We were editing, and so first call was like, well, wait a second. Can Flash also bring us back in time to do this? Because
exactly. Yeah, so we're on the holidays. I knew that we're down the wire, but I knew how meaningful this would be to the fans, just because Flash meeting. The Flash is meeting.
So that was during the break between episodes 3 and 4.
And that's new footage.
That's when they shot it.
Like with Green Lantern, was kind of old footage. This is new stuff, and we had to track down the costume for Ezra. Luckily, he still fit into it. And Peter, spoke with Greg, and Greg graciously allowed us to do this at the last minute, very last minute. And Mark wrote dialogue at the last second, sent it over. It had to be kind of vague enough to not create too many expectations, but kind of solidify the fact that this is happening, that these Flashes are both the Flash in different universes. And the cool thing is, Ezra's Flash was never named the Flash in the movies. He got his name from meeting Grant, who knew he was the Flash. And that's like so cool to have that introduction into the canon, right? And so that was
a great moment.
It came together the last minute, and
iconic.
It worked out great. Those guys kind of improvised in the lines, and
they definitely improvised.
There's
a lot of improvisation.
It was touching and funny, and it was just a great moment. And then when it went live, man, people's heads exploded. And then I think,
there were a lot of people who worked on the show. And had shot the episode and didn't know that it was in there. So they were watching. There were people that had been in the episode that were watching it live that night that wrote me.
That's crazy.
I didn't know about this. Did you keep
it
this
was
a
last
secret
minute,
from me?
apparently.
I was like, no, I wasn't. We just did it last week.
Yeah.
Is this cosplay? Oh, do you want a selfie, bro?
No,
I'm sorry.
We're not. No. I'm also the Flash.
You're also the what?
The
Flash.
Flash. It's complicated. I like your outfit. It seems freaking comfy.
Yours is pretty cool.
Smooth.
Seems safe and
breathable.
There you go.
Barry Allen. No! What does that mean? How can this...
This should be impossible now.
It should be impossible now?
Now?
You don't know about the...
Oh my god, don't do this to me. I don't know about the what.
Well, and kind of talk about that, Greg, because I know just the crossover events are such a big to-do anyway, getting all of the actors from all of the shows and the sets and everything working together at the same pace and timing, and then now throwing in the film piece as well. I feel like all of you guys, just from talking to you and, you know, knowing you a little bit, that you're a huge fan, so you're like, we'll do anything to make it work. But what was that moment like for you?
Well, I was honestly, I really do experience these shows just as a fan first. And so when I heard it, you know, I just thought I would want to see that. You know, I would want to see that, let alone be a part of it, you know, and whenever anybody in this business is doing stuff from that place of like, you know, how can we make this thing the best it can be? And how can we deliver something to everybody and that, you know, understands and loves these characters as much as we do? You know, then the impossible stuff that seems impossible ends up becoming possible.
I think up to this point, we were the company was just organized in a way where TV was TV and film was film, and
that shouldn't be how it should be,
DC
though.
and Jim was sort of the arbiter of like, hey, they want to use this character, using this character, and it became this like really weird situation where the fans they love the characters, they just want to see the characters, and this sort of opens the door for us to do more crossovers, to really lean into this idea and just acknowledge the fact that there can be a Flash on TV and one in the movies, and you don't have to pick one or the other. You can love both, and they do both exist in this great multiverse. And I do think that moving forward, there's more opportunities for us to do things like this. And really, it at the end of the day, it's about the fans, and I think the fans want to see it, and it gives us a way to sort of explore maybe some different stories and different ideas, and use the medium in a different way than it's been used thus far.
We can just dive in a little bit more into the DC films. Walter, for you, what does the multiverse really mean?
What the multiverse allows you to do is sort of lean into this idea of you can tell just great stories, and you don't have to really be as focused on it has to fit within a singular continuity. On one Earth, we have our Gal and Jason and Ezra version of the Justice League, and we can continue telling those stories.
Gal, Ezra,
while
Jason.
On a separate Earth, we don't have to worry about the continuity. We can have a more grounded, real Year 2 Batman and build out that world, and not really worry about continuity, story elements, and etc. And so it's really kind of the best of both worlds, and allows us to take advantage of everything that's great about what we've done, and really allow us to sort of expand moving forward. And we're trying to keep it as simple as that. Like, there is that one Earth, the greater Earth of sort of this existing Justice League, and then the beginnings of another Earth that is sort of happening, that's early stages of Year 2 Batman. And then obviously there are outliers like Joker, which it doesn't exist in either Earth, but that's okay. It's all part of the multiverse. Matt Reeves can continue to build out his Gotham, and he's got great plans to how to build it out, and build it out in a way that's sort of innovative.
Just nodding because, like, yes, I agree. Awesome,
there's
perfect.
an idea of taking that Gotham and exploring it at HBO Max as a show. Like, those are things
confirmed,
that you can do.
There's a Gotham
because
HBO
we don't
Max
have
show?
to worry about how that would impact Aquaman 2, or how that could impact the Flash. You know, and so I think it just opens doors for us in ways that you couldn't have if you had to have a singular
I know
universe.
Shazam is implied to be.
So let's get into some of the questions that we've got from fans. The first one is for you, Jim. It's from Van in the U.S. Now that Doomsday Clock has concluded, will we see any more of Alan Moore's comic characters cross over with the DC multiverse?
Probably less on the crossover side. You don't want to, dip into the well too often and kind of make it.
I'd rather keep them separate, to be honest.
Regular thing. It becomes too commonplace. You want to save it for really big, epic storylines where you've got great creators like Jeff Johns, who's able to come in and really deliver, a story worthy of that kind of concept. But we are, there's a spinoff. There's a Rorschach series that Tom King is writing. It's not like necessarily a crossover per se, but we are exploring more of the Watchmen universe. It's obviously got kind of second life with the HBO TV series, and so it's been kind of fun exploring that. But yeah, that's all I can share at this point.
Ooh. The next one is for Greg from Swarap Kumar Singh in India. The Crisis on Infinite Earths finale showed that the multiverse is gone, and there exists only one universe and one Earth Prime. But since other shows like Titans, Doom Patrol, and the DC still goes on, is the multiverse actually gone, or is it recreated?
It's not gone. That was to really help us, sort of like the original reason for Crisis, when they were like, oh, we have too many worlds. Let's start combining things for the purpose of the books. I think for the purposes of the CW, those worlds are now one.
The
but
CW is all one
off
Earth,
network is like being off planet in a different part of the multiverse. But it's
HBO
still
Max is
alive
their own universe. Doom Patrol, Titans.
Every existence
Stargirl!
multiplied by
If you haven't watched Stargirl yet, what's wrong with you? It's a good show. It's a good show.
And spread out before space and time in infinite measure.
If you haven't watched Swamp Thing yet,
Civilizations rose
it's a good show.
And fell.
Titans
and rose again across reality's graduated expanse.
It's a good looking show. It looks nice.
Precious gift. Persevering
Look
in
at
the
that.
face
Look at that.
of
Starfire.
every obstacle.
Yes. Raven. Sorry. Beast Boy. We don't talk about the fact that he can only turn into one animal. It's a good show.
Finally, the age of heroes was born.
Okay, well, the next question is for you from Sumik Day in India. Will we get more multiverse movies or even Elseworlds movies like Superman, Red Sun?
I think it's the possibility is there. It's not, it really comes down to, like I said, our focus is great stories. And so if we come across the right filmmaker with an interesting story that doesn't work within our existing timeline, and it would work as an Elseworld, we would definitely explore it. I can say we're not currently developing Red Sun, so that isn't one of them, but it really comes down to when the right filmmaker or the right idea comes together. That's the beauty of the multiverse, is we can explore it. We can go down the road and take a shot at it. But what we don't want to do is be in a place like Jim was saying, like it should be special. It doesn't. You don't want I don't think you want an Elseworld movie every year, like Clockwork. Like it'd be much better for it to be a special thing. And we also want them to be great. We want them to be special. We want to make sure that it doesn't just sort of feel like we're just cranking out a volume of different versions of these characters.
Good.
There has to be a reason for it, and I think it has to be a reason that we're excited about, that we think the fans will be excited about. So, yes, the answer is yes. There will be opportunities. That one is not one that we're currently exploring.
We've got one more question for all of you guys.
That's fine. I don't
this
really
is
care
from
about Red
Ryan
Sun right
Keller
now.
in the U.S.
We
With
got
the
an animated
existence
show
of the DC multiverse, how do
movie
you
coming
approach
out.
managing a wide variety of characters, stories, and universes for DC? And how would you work to help keep the audience connected with such a large variety of characters and stories? I imagine that you guys all have like a board somewhere in your house that's like, you open the doors and it's like, here's the characters in the whole world connected with yarn. I don't think any of you have that. If you do, please show us right now.
It's like one of those True Detective scenes or something where it's just like newspaper
yarn, just yarns and pins. Yeah.
Oh, I think that is the challenge. There's so many characters, so many versions, but we have people through film, TV, within Berlanti's company. These are the assets we track and try to make sure that there aren't inconsistencies and that we are constantly communicating between ourselves so that we deliver something that's satisfying and maybe paints a bigger picture. And now that this has been established, this multiverse across all of the content, I think there's going to be a greater need for coordination to kind of deliver even cooler surprises going forward. But I just want to really thank and applaud Greg for really laying the groundwork for all this, because they didn't have to do this. From what I hear from Mark Guggenheim, it's a crazy amount of work, and bringing all these people together to deliver something that could potentially be very confusing or complicated, and being able to tell a story that's kind of derived from the canon. It is an amazing thing. And the fact that they've been able to do it year in, year out with different kind of crossovers and big events has been a real blessing, I think, for the DC universe, and has kind of shown that it can be done. But we just need to be on top of the storylines and where the characters are and how they're being used. But that's part of the job, and a lot of fun, and there's a lot of fun involved as well, because we get to really explore really deeply into the DC catalog sometimes.
When we were first pitching the idea of certain characters. There was a sense of like, okay, well, and this was years ago, but like, oh, we might use this character in the movie space, so maybe we won't then use a character there. And I would say, well, I can watch an animated Batman, and I don't confuse animated Batman from the Batman in your movies to, something on a show. But it doesn't mean that we still don't have to warrant using that character. Certainly any kind of character with that kind of size and scope and that much meaning in the world like this. But so we want to justify our use of any character, but at the same time, ultimately, I think it's in the as we bring all of these characters into live action and to life, it's just so much more enriching and rewarding for everyone, to feel like, okay, the best idea wins, and the best version of the story is going to be what we're all really trying to serve.
I think in the past there's been like, well, features might do something with that, so stay away from it. It could be years before that character ever showed up on the screen, if it even showed up on the screen, and it was clear to us, like, it doesn't make sense to hold that back from the fans. Let's explore that. And by the way, if they fall in love with the character on TV and we do something in the movies 3 years down the road, all the better. Like, it's just a greater awareness for the characters. Right. And so for us, our board is much smaller because we have fewer things that we're working on. We have, within a movie, it's 120 pages and there's a handful of characters, whereas in TV, there's a bunch of other characters that pop up. So it's a little bit more straightforward for us. I think really Jim is the great sort of, he's the center of everything. So he has to know everything that we're doing in features, everything that's happening in TV, and everything funnels to him. And I think that's great that we have this guy who sort of knows the world better than anybody, who can sort of look at it and kind of go and come up and say, wouldn't it be great if Ezra showed up when met Grant? And like, you don't get that without Jim sort of being sort of at the center of all this. And so it's I think it's just a great collaborative team, and it's really just the beginning of what we're doing here. I think with just the stuff that we're working on now, and the idea of the multiverse, and really HBO Max being this other venue for us to really start to meet in the middle. I think if there was that sense that TV was TV and film was film, Max sort of becomes this place where we it's like, it'll be our clubhouse. Well, everything will gather into that space, and we'll be able to explore different opportunities and cross back over. And I'm excited about the potential of all the things that we can do with DC.
Discord already for Gotham Knights. Sorry.
Well, I want to say a huge
Twitter
thank you to the three of you guys for taking the time to chat with me and all of the fans here in the DC fandom. This is such, like, we're talking about different platforms for things, and this is a whole new platform for fans to get to experience
go check out the store.
The DC multiverse as well. So thank you guys so much. This has been awesome.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Thank you, Tiffany. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
What just happened? Own it now. What are you talking about? Does that just mean you can go to the store?
The future certainly looks bright for the DC multiverse. I'm still not sure what I will look like on Earth 26, but I can't wait to meet me there. Now, if you're a big DC fan like me, then I'm willing to bet that you cannot wait for the Flash feature film to electrify the big screen. The good news is that you don't have to wait that long, because we are going right now with the
PS4,
filmmakers
PS5,
and
Xbox
the
One,
Flash
Series
himself,
X,
Ezra Miller.
and PC. Customize characters. Uh-oh, here goes the Flash. What kind of bullshit they're gonna pull.
Hello, fans around the world. It's me, Ezra Miller.
Oh my god, what the hell?
Can you just move out your hair on the left side a little bit?
You don't like this? I'm Andy Muschietti, director of the Flash movie.
I'm Christina Hodson, the screenwriter of The Flash. I haven't spoken to humans in a while, so I'm going to be rusty.
I'm Barbara Muschietti, the producer of The Flash movie.
I play Barry Allen, aka The Flash, in the upcoming Flash movie. And I love you, and I'm excited to be here digitally with you.
God, 10 minutes for
fact,
this.
If you go to the bottom of Andy Muschietti's Wikipedia or IMDb page, you'll see that he actually has a PA credit on the 1996 Madonna movie Evita. Must ask you more about that, Andy.
Telling the story of one of the greatest superheroes of the DC world is a challenge. The most important thing is that it gets to your heart. Growing up with Batman and Superman and Flash, it was an opportunity to reconnect with childhood experiences reading DC Comics.
Flash fact, DC Comics actually stands for Detective Comics. comics.
The tone for
Yeah,
the
it
film, I
does.
think, is very much Andy's signature.
He can jump from funny to scary to emotional really fast.
And it's also a time travel story, which I find very exciting.
Andy managed to put these tiny little DC Easter eggs into the It movie.
Batman.
I like your glasses, Mr. Keene. You look just like Clark Kent.
I don't know about that.
One, he was vying for the job way earlier than any of us knew. Or two, while making the Flash movie, he discovered time travel for real, went back in time, and went to put all these things in just to mess with us. Either way, well played, sir.
You meet Andy, and you immediately can understand why he's the perfect choice for this movie.
I hope he's the one that
his
sticks.
Compassion, his
I
priority
honestly would have
in
liked
this
to see
film of
Rick
finding the
Famuyiwa's
heart of the story.
Flash,
I'm
but
also excited to see Andy's version of the
We'll
Speed
see.
Force. He happened to have done some doodles that I may or may not have taken and kept. They are literally unlike anything you've ever seen before.
honestly, this and Gambit, you know. I know Gambit's like
Flashback.
dead,
Did you know
but
that according to actual comic book canon, Superman is both a vegetarian and a Metallica fan? Which is, of course, impossible. But then again, he's Superman.
Batman lost his parents. Superman lost his planet. Harley Quinn lost her egg sandwich. But Barry, because he's got this ability to go back and manipulate time, he's the only one who can actually go and change his own personal story.
His mother was murdered, his father was
Flash
framed and
boy.
incarcerated, and all his journey from then was of a man trying to make things right.
And it sounds like a cliche, but script is everything. When I got to read Christina's first draft, I was just blown away.
The script has really captured his loquacity, his personality.
So you're fast.
That feels like an oversimplification.
I fell in love with The Flash when I read Flashpoint. The combination of giant spectacle, action, and fun with this incredibly personal, intimate story of a boy just trying to save his mum.
He's someone who has the power of changing the events of the past, but by doing so can deteriorate the very fabric of the space-time continuum.
The juxtaposition between his vulnerability and his immense power is really what's exciting about superheroes to me.
just freaking
Flash fact. The hippopotamus is faster than the human being. Beware.
Every actor, every director, every writer brings something
See you, Zach.
different to the character.
Barry, as a character, and especially the way Ezra plays him, he's a guy with so much heart, so much humor. Spending time with Ezra is kind of like spending time with Barry Allen.
Really, I can feel his passion and his enthusiasm and his creativity.
He was born to play this role.
Flash fact. The first appearance of the multiverse in DC Comics is actually a Flash comic. Flash Comics number 123, The Flash of Two Worlds.
Time travel isn't simple. It's not always a straightforward case of go back and change one thing and another thing changes in the future.
This film is immensely important because if you look around at the DC universe, obviously we have all of these characters that exist within their own bubbles. We even have now multiple iterations of the same story.
I'm Batman. And Batman. I'm Batman. Sounds like a cool guy.
This movie, by opening that door that Flashpoint did in the comics, all of these stories and characters can start to collide.
I have something to talk about with that, so I wrote it down. Oh my god, the Suicide Squad panel's next.
This
though.
should
Shit.
be impossible now.
It should be impossible now?
I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to talk about it. But
oh my god, don't do this to me. I
yeah,
don't know about the what.
Flashpoint is going to be very
The
important
cinematic
if they
multiverse
actually
is
can
going to
pull
be
it off.
born out of this movie. It's born out of Barry's story.
It blows our minds, the levels of possibility that exist within the context of this character and this story.
I can't wait for all of us to be able to sit down in a theater and enjoy these movies in the dark with a lot of people and with great snacks.
So obviously, I don't want to spoil too much of the movie.
got something
I want
done?
you to be surprised when you see it. There's something that I can show you, a little sneak peek.
Oh.
Oh my sorry. That's my fault. It was an accident. It's not my personal playlist, but it might. Yeah, that might have been my fault. Back to you, Andy.
So I'd like to share a couple of concept art drawings,
Okay,
and
concept art.
it's Barry Allen's new suit.
Okay, it looks a lot more classic.
As you can
a little
see,
bit
it's
New
more
52.
organic. You can see light embedded in it. It has been built
Less
like it's
padded.
from Bruce Wayne this time.
That's Michael Keaton. That is Michael Keaton.
Flash fact. The first ever Batman movie is actually an unlicensed Batman Dracula movie made by Andy Warhol with a soundtrack by the Velvet Underground. It's unreleased, but there's 39 minutes that have been recovered, and I highly recommend watching them. They're extremely strange.
There are so many potential crossovers in the multiverse, so many cool things that you could do.
I would really love them to do a two-hander with Wonder Woman. I think they would solve a lot of problems, let me tell you.
I'd like to see Game of Thrones crossover. Instead of all the months that it takes traveling from Winterfell to King's Landing, it would happen in 2 seconds. Barry Allen in the Iron Throne.
I actually already have a weird behind-the-scenes DC multiverse crossover. My best friend growing up is Rob Pattinson's older sister.
Okay.
So I've actually known the new Batman since he was 2 years old and in diapers.
I would like the Flash to meet in the multiverse Nicolas Cage. Not the Nicolas Cage Superman that never was.
Just
I'd
Nicolas
want
Cage.
the Flash to meet Nicolas Cage, the person in this world who I believe probably does have the ability to transcend space-time. It's a real proposition.
Okay, so quickly, Ezra Miller, I don't know what's going on with the scandal with him, so I don't know how to feel about him currently.
I also can't wait to hear more about The Flash. Thanks you,
it's a
Andy,
Brienne. Okay.
Barbara,
Thank God,
Christina.
this 5-minute Batman thing. So I don't know how to feel about Ezra. Before all that stuff came up, I actually liked him. I loved the idea of him as Flash. I don't have a problem with him as Flash. It's just all of the behind the scenes drama that I'm not sure about how to feel about him anymore. But what I wrote down was Billy Crudup, Doomsday Clock. I forgot Billy Crudup is Henry Allen. He's the dad in I think I don't even know if that footage is in Justice League. I've only seen Justice League once. I'm waiting to watch Snyder Cut, obviously. But if they're keeping him as Henry Allen, with all this talk about multiverse and shit, they have the possibility to do Doomsday Clock down the line. Now, do I want to see that anytime soon? Hell no. You know, I don't care about Doomsday Clock in that way. I still haven't read part 2. You know, I've read the first, I think it was 6 issues, and I'm still waiting to read the second half. But because he plays Dr. Manhattan, because of the fact that Wally has such a connection to Dr. Manhattan now, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you know, you know. There's a lot of interesting connections there. Again, I don't want to see this anytime soon, but they have the toys to make it work. You know, Flashpoint, changing the past, changing again, just a lot, all the talk. I mean, they had the multiverse panel beforehand, and even during the Flash panel, they kind of touched on Flashpoint a little bit, and they showed a little bit of Watchmen. I mean, they showed like Superman, Chris Reeves, Superman and stuff too. So it's not to be taken too seriously, but my point is, you can connect some dots, and it doesn't take too much effort to make it happen. So again, maybe in like 10 years time, 15 years time, it's a possibility. It would be cool, but again, recastings. You know, 10 years is a long time too. I mean, I don't know how much Ezra Miller is going to age in that time and all that stuff. So it's a lot. But there is a world where that could happen. Just talking about Flashpoint a little bit more. Interested to see. They didn't mention Ben Affleck really. They silently alluded to him, but it was more of Michael Keaton stuff, especially in that concept art. They definitely had Michael Keaton Batman. So I'm very interested to see where that is going. Again, I'm not expecting Flashpoint based on what they've said, and they've pretty much said, you know, don't expect don't expect Flashpoint. We're doing an interpretation of it. So with Michael Keaton, with Ben Affleck. Again, Ben Affleck makes sense to an extent. Michael Keaton, not sure what they're doing with that. I hope they don't use him to replace Thomas Wayne, because they do have Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who would be the perfect Thomas Wayne for obvious reasons. And again, I'm not sure what else they are planning to do besides Batman, because of the fact that Flashpoint has so many other characters. It has Shazam, well, the Shazam Elite, really. But, you know, Wonder Woman and Aquaman are very prominent figures there. Cyborg, Superman. So you have all these characters, but we don't have any mention of them. It's the thing. And I hope that they are involved in some way. Again, Mara, I'm not sure what what I think the consensus right now is that Mara is we're not going to touch her. So my main point is you know, the Flash. I'm not really. I don't have high hopes, expectations right now. Other than just being intrigued. Hopefully, once production finally starts, we can get a bit more solidified in what we want to see and what we can expect to see. But for now, it's a lot of ideas. Again, like Gotham Knights, not really sure what to expect yet, so I'm just throwing out my ideas about what's on my mind. Yeah.
Robin! I was actually feeling bad for Robin, but then I saw those elf booties again, and well... Hey, what happened?
That's the end of the transmission.
What do we do?
Not sure, but I know what we won't do.
What's that?
We never tell anyone what we saw here today.
Seriously? Not even the mustache?
Never.
I can tell you're serious. Know how? Your eyebrows, very expressive on their own. Why you ever chose to paint...
Don't you start.
Interesting. They said now available on DC Universe.
Batman has such a great sense
I
of humor.
thought today would be the day they finally announced
devoted fans teamed
everything's
up
going
to show
over to
out
HBO
in force
Max.
at the DC Fandom. Let's take a look at some of the best group cosplays. And coming up is a showdown like you've never seen before. Stay tuned for lots of fun and games with the Suicide Squad.
Again, Suicide Squad, I'm not really sure about, but we'll see. Hopefully this gets me excited for it. You guys are going too quick. I can't see what's going on here. just, there we go. That's better. Give us a couple seconds. Give us 2 seconds for each thing. You know, not just bam, 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 bam. Go too fast. I can't process it all. Ooh, I saw Simon Baz. I see you.
Come on then, let's go.
I like watching the stars. Orion and the plough. Polaris. And the big triangular thing.
Sorry. Why does Ezra Miller look like a mini-me version of Russell Brand?
Even though we are in the Hall of Heroes, I know that if I was ever in trouble, I would call upon this next group to help me out. As
Would
you know,
you?
director James Gunn announced in February that filming had wrapped for the Suicide
Sorry, Tom
Squad.
Taylor said
And right now, he's
you
taking a
wanna
break
miss-
from the
you don't wanna
edit bay
miss the
to be
Suicide Squad
here
panel,
with
so
us
very
to
excited for
discuss
that.
his
I
vision
love his
for the
run
film,
currently.
answer fan questions, and have some insanely crazy fun with the cast. And, of course, share some never-before-seen content with us. Check it out.
This is amazing. I'm so excited to be here at DC Fandom with all the amazing DC fans. As many of you know, the Suicide Squad is by far the most fun I've ever had making a movie. I am still working hard on it
Sure about
every
that?
day from morning till night, but we're having a
You
great
made the
time
Guardians
creating
movies.
something
What are you trying to say?
incredibly special for people. And I'd like to take this break now to take some questions from you guys.
Hey James, when was the first time you ever read Suicide Squad as a comic book? And who was your favorite character?
I read John Ostrander's original run of Suicide Squad. So I remember reading the very first issue of that run and falling in love with the concept, with the characters. I loved the movie The Dirty Dozen that came out back in the 60s. And this was like a super villain version of The Dirty Dozen. And I loved the character of Amanda Waller, who was so different for the time, you know, in terms of being such a strong woman, but not kind of an anti-hero, but kind of bad, kind of good, not physically the same as everybody else you saw in comic books. And I just thought she was so cool. And of course, I loved all the characters and Boomer and everybody. And I just had a great time reading that initial run.
My name is Maisha Kondakar, and I'm a loyal DC fan, and I'm making this video from
Loyal DC
Hackaboundish.
fan.
I have a question for James Gunn. Which DC character were you most excited to write about for the Suicide Squad movie, and why?
Maisha, I think the character that I was the most excited to write for was Harley Quinn. I've loved this character ever since Paul Dini first put her in animated shows. I think that there's a sort of chaotic trickster god nature to her where she's just always going off in random directions. And as a writer, that's a really fun thing to deal with because she takes you in places where you don't know you're going to go. So a lot of it was me writing for Harley, and a lot of it was Harley doing some of the writing for me during the Suicide Squad.
Hey, I'm Jake from State Farm, and setting aside the massive amounts of damage that you must have had the squad rack up in that one scene, can you confirm the number of crashes and explosions? You know, asking for a friend.
Hey, Jake, I cannot confirm the exact amount of explosions
Kind of
and
ad.
crashes, but I will say
sponsored.
that we have about as many
What was
explosions
that?
and crashes in this film as in any film ever. In fact, the guy who did all of our special effects on this film, Dan Sudik, who has done almost all of the Marvel movies, great movies, says that there are more effects in this film
He said the
than
M-word.
all of those movies he's
House
done
fam.
combined. So we have quite a huge special effect explosion extravaganza for you guys.
You've said Ostrander's run was influential, but what else inspired you to feature these under-the-radar characters?
That is an amazing question. One I'm excited to answer because I actually had a long talk with John Ostrander, you know, about this because he came and visited the set, and I said I don't think of this movie so much as an adaptation of your comics. I think of this
Obviously, you
movie
don't
as a
want that.
sequel to your comics, to your run in the comic books.
Okay, a sequel
What
to
would John Ostrander be doing with these characters
in the present day.
if it was 30 years after he first started? And so I think that it has the spirit and the lifeblood of
It's very
the
interesting.
Ostrander
There's a lot of
books,
Bronze
but I
Tiger in
also
these,
like
but
to
I know
continuously
he
take in
confirmed
new supervillains, other
that
supervillains who have
Idris Elba
sometimes
is
been
not
in the
Bronze
Suicide
Tiger,
Squad
so
comics over the years. But also
what
a
does
lot
that
of
mean?
characters like Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher who have never been in the Suicide Squad, but who I just think are great DC villains who have something to offer. and that we could have put into the movies. So that is
Jenny Slate in
where
this?
my
I can't
biggest
remember.
inspiration
Their
comes from.
freaking cast
Who
list
were
is
your
weird.
favorite villains as a kid? And did working on this movie teach you anything new about these quote-unquote villains?
Wow, who were my favorite villains growing up? Well, I was a huge Batman fan, and I'm going to tell you who my favorite villain
Danielle
was.
Melchior
And
is
maybe it's a little
Ratcatcher.
embarrassing, but I'm not embarrassed by
King
it.
Shark.
It was Batmite. I loved
Batmite.
Batmite. I thought he was hilarious and creepy as heck. So
Joel Kinnaman's
Batmite
returning,
is
Jack
definitely
Cody's
my
returning,
favorite
awesome.
supervillain. And don't think
John
I
Cena,
didn't think
Storm
about putting
Reed.
the Batmite in the
thought I'd never
Suicide
heard
Squad because I
Do I?
did.
I saw the set photos of the Suicide Squad and I absolutely love the direction of the movie. But is it true that Fleur Borg is playing Javelin Man?
Through the Borg.
Also,
Javelin Man.
Also, is Nathan Fillion playing Blackguard?
Hey Milan, so
Flula, Nathan
is
Fillion, Pete
Flula
Capaldi,
playing
Pete Davidson.
Javelin Man? Well, his name isn't exactly Javelin Man, but in mere moments we are going to see who Flula and Nathan are playing in the film.
Michael Rooker,
and,
Taika Waititi.
and I'll give you a hint. One of them you got pretty correct, and the other one you didn't get correct.
Ooh.
And there's a lot of people
So it
all
sounds
over
like
the internet
Blackguard.
who have theories about
I'm not sure who that
people
is,
are
but-
playing, and sometimes they've been right, and sometimes they've been wrong. And so I guess we're going to answer all those questions in a minute. But I will tell you one thing, which is Flula Borg is the funniest guy in the
He's pretty
entire
funny.
world, and incredibly strange. But he's become a good friend through all this, and he's a great guy. And Nathan, of course, has been in all my movies. He's already been a friend. Here it comes, the time that so many of you guys have been waiting for. Who is who in
Who
the
the
squad?
fuck is
You've
in
heard a
this
lot of
squad?
the actors that are in this movie. You don't know who they're playing. Maybe you have some good guesses.
Let's
Maybe
write
you're
down.
right. Maybe you're
I got
wrong.
a pen.
We'll have
I got
to
my
see.
sticky note.
But here
Let's
it
go.
is. Everything.
You better not just.
You know the deal. Successfully
Amanda
complete the
Waller,
mission, you get
easy.
10 years off your sentence.
Got Rick Flag back.
These are your
Awesome.
brothers and sisters for the next few days.
Michael Rooker. Saban. Who the hell is that? Javelin. The Flula. Oh, look at him. Javelin. Harley. Obviously. Look at that outfit. Awesome. Polka Dot Man. That dude. David Dash. Okay. We know about this one. Nice outfit. Okay. Idris is Bloodsport. King Shark. Wait. Mongal. What the? Okay, I can't write names down. Capaldi's The Thinker. Alice Braga as, I don't know what that said. Pete Davidson. Blackguard. Okay. Nathan Fillion. TDK. Well, who's that? Who are these people? Who the fuck is this? Weasel? Who the hell is that? Boomerang. Jai Courtney's return. Is that Orion? Peacemaker, okay. I was scared for a second. Okay, I'm a lot more excited now.
Here we go.
I'm not really showing it, but
And the characters they're playing of the Suicide Squad.
Did that say
First of all, we have
Soldaria?
Idris Elba as Bloodsport. John Cena as Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. John Cena.
David Dastmalchian as Polka Dot Man.
He's wearing polka dots, I like that.
As Captain Boomerang.
Ah, Boomerang.
Nathan Fillion as TDK. Flula Borg
Fillion.
as Javelin. This is like a really messed up Brady bunch. Daniela Melchior is Ratcatcher 2.
Ratcatcher 2,
Pete
inferring there's a
Davidson
1.
is Blackguard. Yeah. Mailing Ing as Mangao.
Ooh, a girl. Look at those arms.
Michael Rooker, unfortunately, is Savant.
Unfortunately. Does that mean he's dead?
I deal with the devil. Peter Capaldi as the Thinker.
Okay.
Sean Gunn is Weasel. Steve Agee is John Economos and our on-set King Shark.
Yes.
Okay.
Alicia Braga as Sol Soria.
Sol Soria.
Juan Diego Boto is General Presidente Silvio Luna. Real great guy. Joel Kinnaman is, of course, Rick Flag. Viola Davis is Amanda Waller. And, of course, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Okay.
Hey, all here together again.
Okay.
Good. Are you excited to be a part of DC Fandom?
Yes!
Super excited. This is going to be great.
Well, we're going to have some fun here. We're going to do.
Mr. Cena.
We're going to have some competition, which it's not fun unless there's somebody winning and somebody losing. And so I would like to have a couple of team leaders. And I think
Three-quarters of these characters.
That we have the people in charge of the Suicide Squad, Viola Davis and Joel Kinnaman, as
captains.
our team leaders.
Hey, team leaders!
And why don't you guys go ahead and let's pick teams.
Bloodsport.
Thanks, thanks.
Definitely.
All right, I'll take my girl, Harley Quinn.
All right.
Yay!
I will take Savant.
Oh, good for you.
Wow.
What a bad mistake.
That is a bad pick. That is. And you guys have scenes together too. I can't believe you made that mistake.
I gotta tell you, just made a big mistake.
John Cena. I'll take John Cena.
I want to reassure you that is a horrible decision. You
No,
will
I
definitely-
already know that.
I'm gonna take.
I like their
my
chemistry at
boy,
least.
King Shark.
Like I said, it's.
Okay,
I'm not excited for this movie, but
take
like
my
this
man
panel. This
Jack
panel's
Kirby.
doing some work.
All right.
Ratcatcher.
Ratcatcher 2.
2. I will take Flula Borg, the Javelin.
Yes. I guarantee we will lose.
I'm gonna take Polka Dot Man.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to grab the weasel.
Oh, good man.
That's not on Rooker's team. Yeah.
The ways of
I've run out of names.
What about what's making me feel really bad?
Is that everybody? There's like 6 people left.
High school again.
Did someone?
It totally feels like high school.
This is what it was like. The basketball team.
Yeah, the thinker.
Great idea.
Maletich the Thinker.
Nathan
You guys are
Fillion,
losing already.
DK.
These mustaches, these quarantine stashes. Oh my god.
El Presidente, El Presidente.
Okay. Yes, what about Mongo?
You got picked by Joel.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
I'll just watch.
Pete, this is sad. Victory cigarette.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna pick Blackguard. Okay.
That went well. I think that went really well.
And let's start off. We're gonna go head to head, and we're
I
gonna
like their
start
chemistry.
off with the team captains. Let's do Joel.
If nothing else,
And Viola.
if it's
I'm gonna pick. This is a good
Listen,
question.
the first Suicide
I
Squad
know
was
most of you
not a good movie.
know so much about the lore of DC
But-
Comics. There's a multiple choice, so
It was
you don't have to look terrible.
fun to watch.
Out of all the squad members,
It was not a good movie. It was
who
fun to
are
watch.
the
So
only characters
if
to have
this
had
could do
their
this.
own comic series? There's 2 of them, and I'm gonna
Harley
list
Quinn.
4 options. A. Harley Quinn and King Shark. B. Harley Quinn and Amanda Waller.
Maybe.
C. Harley Quinn and Peacemaker. Or D.
Ooh.
Harley Quinn and Boomerang. Which 2 have had their own series?
It might be Peacemaker.
Harley Quinn and Peacemaker.
Yeah, it might be Peacemaker.
Yes! Yes! That's correct!
Okay, I'm gonna play along. I hope you guys play along too. I got 1 point.
Even look, even I knew that. Okay.
Viola Davis is a treasure.
Polka Dot Man! Again?
Mr. Sean Gunn.
Weasel versus Polka Dot Man. Old friends.
Oh,
I want a softball.
Oh, yeah, cue up the special guest.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Hola. ¿Cómo están? How are you? I've got a question. What career military man probably wishes he'd never followed in his dad's footsteps?
Joaquin, the great.
What does that mean?
Rick Flag Jr.
I had Super Grover. Is Super Grover?
It's not Super Grover.
You're wrong, Sean.
Junior.
You're wrong. Wrong canon.
Points for creativity.
Now there's no multiple choice. You just got to answer right away, and you have to have it be the right choice.
Okay.
Who has more tattoos, Harley Quinn or Pete Davidson?
Harley Quinn?
Pete.
No.
Pete.
Pete. Margot gets another point.
Pete. It was easy. Yeah, Pete has more.
I was thinking about his character. Oh,
I thought we were shooting.
This is a language. This is a misunderstanding.
That's always your answer when something goes wrong. Who's next?
The Bond.
Fillion, TDK.
What's the government's official code name for the Suicide Squad?
Task Force
I thought
X.
It was the Suicide Squad.
Uh-oh.
No.
It's the only thing I know.
Mei Ling's dying over there.
There's
Extremely.
Task Force X.
Yeah.
Task Force X.
I can't say that even if I knew the answer.
You said it.
Task Force X.
You say it in the movie.
You say it in the movie.
Hey, can we go to like one of our secret guest questions?
Hey guys, which team member would you sacrifice first?
There's a correct answer.
There's a correct answer.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Rooker.
Is that what you said, Steve?
I said.
What's the answer, Jen?
Weasel.
I would have to go with Savant because he's played by
Savant.
Michael Rooker. And if anyone here has ever had to spend a day working with Michael
Wow.
Rooker, I think they'd probably have the same answer.
So sad.
You know what? People are always like that. They always want to get rid of the most dangerous one first. Yeah, I understand where this shit's coming from.
Morale.
All right, we're gonna have Flula versus Elise. Oh boy! Which character made his or her first full appearance in Superboy number 9 in 1994? A. Mongal. B. King Shark. C. Bloodsport. D. The Thinker.
Mongo.
May I ask a question, Mr. Gunn?
Oh no. Yeah.
When you say full appearance, does this mean like everything was exposed? Is it?
The character was not fully exposed. No, the character had some items of clothing on.
Then I would answer King Sharky.
I was going to say B.
B. King Shark. How did you guys know that?
Oh, it was King Shark?
I said King
I
Sharky.
thought he was-
That's incorrect. So
Okay, so it goes to Elise.
I figured he was a Flash thing.
Jeopardy rules,
Not
guys.
Superboy.
Pronounce it right.
Like not
Guys are
even when we
crushing
get.
Wait, he doesn't get that?
You can't just give away the point.
You can't give away your point, dude.
Why
What
not?
is
I
your
give away
problem?
snacks at lunch. Have my point.
Hey.
Is he even on your team?
Yeah, Flula's on my team.
What are we doing right now? What's
Not.
happening?
You keep
Flula.
complaining.
He's not on our team? Oh, never mind.
You're on Viola's
Thank you.
team.
Wait, I'm not on Rooker's team?
No.
I thought you were on my team, too.
Oh.
He's true.
Okay.
Wait. We have
Single
another
brain
special
cell.
question. Why don't we do the last special question?
Hi guys, so now I have a serious question for you guys. I'm gonna test your smarts. Who shot Superman? Was it J.R. Ewing, Peacemaker, Bloodsport, Amanda Waller? Let me know.
I feel like Amanda Waller would shoot Superman.
That is Storm Reed.
My daughter.
Which of your characters is in prison for shooting
Oh,
Superman?
in prison for shooting Superman?
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, yeah.
Sport.
That's correct. Bloodsport is in prison for shooting Superman.
I'm not gonna give myself a point because I guessed wrong at
Reed
first.
turns in an amazing performance in the film, and some of the most memorable scenes. Like really, she's like amazing in the movie. Really, truly.
What movie is that?
Is there anybody left? Pete, who's left?
Blackguard.
Against two.
Flula.
Flula again.
Oh,
Okay.
Flula!
Who will lose first, Pete?
About Jai
What
Courtney.
comic book series did the Suicide Squad debut in? A. The Brave and the Bold. B. The Bold and the Beautiful, C, The Bravest of the Bold, or
Okay,
D,
it's
Time
A.
to Die Hard?
A.
Yeah.
The Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
Pete, it's yours.
Pete, you did it!
Idris Elba, Bloodsport, versus Mei Ling, Mangao. Okay, question. Which character... Oh, this isn't fair. Oh, well. Question. Which character goes into the mission armed with the most weaponry?
Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it polka dots?
Yeah.
Polka dots got all the dots that can do and bombs.
More of a condition.
Polka dot can do. Like, he's got
He's
hundreds
got a
of weapons
condition.
on him.
Well, it's just one weapon. It's polka dots. Bloodsport pulls off all the different kinds of weapons.
Sometimes.
Sandals.
I didn't get the script.
The Mandel's weapon that he wears in the movie?
Oh, come on. Leave those
I was actually...
Really?
I was editing a scene yesterday, Idris, where you're... And I noticed for the first time that you're going up the side of a wall in your Mandels. Well, he always was. I guess he was always wearing his mandals in that scene. I just never noticed till yesterday.
Danielle loves those mandals, don't you, Daniela?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, who's next? Yeah. If given the chance, which superhero would your character like to take down?
It's not about taking anybody down. It's about trying to bring yourself up. You know,
okay.
Just spread some positive vibes.
Cena for president after that answer. I'm going to vote for John. That's it.
Which new addition to the squad was the biggest surprise to you?
I think Weasel was the biggest surprise. You're going to expect him to be this crazy animal. He can't even. I mean, come on.
Wait till you see Weasel in action in the movie.
How is the movie? How does it look?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Like really, truly, it's just the
I
most
just kind of
fun
want
I've ever
El
had.
Diablo back
I love
now. I'm
the
really
movie.
sad about
the
that.
Studio is overwhelmingly happy with the movie.
Wow.
It's the action is great. It's funny. And it's really dramatic in the right places and very touching. It's great. And all of you guys, I mean, just down the line, it's just the greatest cast I've ever worked with by far. Just every single person is amazing. It's just a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me. It was a blast to make, and it's just cutting together just completely fluidly. Honestly, I'm so grateful to all of you guys, except for Rooker.
What does this man do?
But I can cut around him pretty easily.
Spill the tea.
So, he's looking at me every day on the cutting room floor. They don't even do that anymore, do they? It's all digital.
They made it digital for you, so we don't even have to look at you on the cutting room floor.
I just got to say, what an amazing experience it was. And it's because of you and all these guys. You know, the atmosphere on that set was so positive. Awesome. And such a warm, wonderful, supportive place to be. You know, not everybody has been in a big superhero movie, even if they've been Doctor Who or anything like that. So to walk onto a set like that can be quite intimidating. But the welcome that you and everybody here provided was just fantastic. So thank you and everybody here for that.
Leave it to the British guy to come in right at the end and say something beautiful that makes us all look stupid.
That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm called the Thinker.
So the showdown champion, I believe, even though we haven't been keeping very good score, is Viola Davis's team. So you guys, right now, I have a little something special in store for you, which we have you guys right now. And everybody out there in the DC fandom universe are going to be the first to see a little behind-the-scenes action from the Suicide Squad.
Okay, let's see. Some behind the scenes.
I think it's going to surprise people.
There's still takeaway TD, isn't it?
How did they do that?
It's going to be different from any superhero movie ever made.
There's no one better in the world to direct the Suicide Squad than James Gunn.
I was excited with an opportunity to be able to do the Suicide Squad in the way it could be done from my point of view.
This one is completely unique. This is a gritty 1970s war movie
combined with the brilliance of James Gunn's characters and comedy.
You need your director to set the vibe.
Harley looks
The
great.
Suicide Squad is just a twisted.
Some of these other people look very out of place, but
within each of our characters, there's a certain
Harley
beauty
looks great.
within most of them. Some of them are just pretty crappy through and through.
Be like a douchey Captain America.
The guy who believes in peace at any cost, no matter how many people he needs to kill along the way.
Okay, I got it.
Don't ever settle back like you think you know where this is going, because you don't.
As soon as you have some sense about what's about to happen next, James comes in.
Everyone is exploding. Genitals, heads, arms, legs.
It's like a big, massive graphic novel brought to life.
This is by far the biggest movie I've ever made.
Really?
I don't think that you
Guardians
know what
is pretty
to
big.
expect. Don't get too attached.
Surprised by that.
This has been truly
Better not be a lie.
the greatest, most exciting journey of my life making this film. Cut. That was great. So that was it. What do you guys think of that new clip we just saw? Anyway, I can't wait for everybody to see The Suicide Squad in theaters all the way in August 6th, 2021. We're still working on it, but man, I am so excited for everybody.
It's literally
to see
a year
it,
away
and
still.
I am grateful for everyone
That's okay.
out
We're gonna have
there
trailers
in
and
the
stuff.
DC universe who came and checked out and hung out with us for a little while and saw this train wreck that would have gone perfectly smoothly if not for Michael Booker. So, thank you guys.
Way to go, Viola and
These
your team for
attacks
the
on
win! Ça va, DC
Michael
Fandom?
Rooker.
I'm Terry LTM, your French host, and I've got a big
What's
admiration
next?
for James Gunn and the cast. What
Oh,
great
boss.
teamwork.
Well,
Now
it's in
I'm
like
even
20
more
minutes.
excited for the Suicide Squad movie than before. How about you? Tweet us at #DC Fandom. And next, we have a very special DC fan guest with a question for Idris Elba. Gael, mon fils, take it away.
Idris, you're a sport fan. What kind of training did you do for your role in the Suicide Squad?
Okay, so hi Gael, Idris. So yes, I am a sports fan. I am a fan of all sports, but I played.
Okay, sorry Idris, but I gotta talk. We're gonna do a quick little. Oh my God, how do I even do this? Okay, Savant. We're gonna do a quick. Unless you guys are like diehard DC fans, I don't know half these people. So we're gonna do a quick little lesson for everyone, including myself. Savant. He was created by Gail Simone, which is awesome. Birds of Prey. He is genius exhibits forgetfulness due to chemical imbalance. What does that mean? I guess he dies in the New 52. So possible casualty. Javelin. It's a Green Lantern villain. Olympic athlete who for some unknown reasons become a criminal. What is going on here? Venus and Patty. Okay. Just a bunch of interviews, which I'll try and check out later after the stream, but you guys can watch it now if you want to. You can also watch my stream later too. I'm not complaining. Javelin. He just throws javelins, I guess. And for some reason, he's against Green Lantern, which doesn't seem like a very fair matchup, but whatever. Okay. Who else we got? Polka Dot Man. He's been, was he confirmed before this? Not sure, but I know he's been talked about at least. Can turn the polka dots covering his costume into a variety of weapons. He's a Batman and Robin minor villain. You can tell. He can tell that he's a Batman villain. Like he just fits that sort of weird little thing. Okay, yeah, it was announced. Again, I'm not really sure. I don't think I've ever read anything with him in it. I'm not even sure if he's in any recent-ish comics that I might have read, or that would be on my radar anyways. But there we go. Bloodsport. It's the name of 3 mercenaries. There are enemies of Superman. Okay. High-tech weaponry. I'm not sure which one Idris Elba is. What? Okay. He was in the Justice League versus Fatal 5, but I guess it was a minor appearance because I do not remember it at all. He was in Roulette's Meta Brawl in Justice League Unlimited. I guess he's just a gun for hire. Deadshot light. Deadshot but less famous kind of thing. Mongal, I'm assuming related to Mongol. Daughter of Mongol. That's pretty big. It's pretty freaking big. Is it Mongol the younger though? Is that the one? Is that the one? Which Mongol is, there's a Mongol that is like present. I'm not sure which one is the actual. Anyways, Mongal. If we know Mongol, we know Mongal. I feel like, right? I think strength, durability, stamina, speed, agility, energy protection. Yeah, pretty standard stuff there. But again, Mongol introducing that. I feel like that's what James Gunn does a lot. I'm not really a fan of the Guardians movies. I appreciate them for what they did in bringing obscure characters and profiting off of them and bringing them to the light in that way. But I did not resonate with the movies too much. But again, he brought in a larger world to the Marvel universe, and I appreciate the fact that it looks like he's trying to do that here too. I'm not sure this is the best medium to do it because of I feel like he's going to play up the suicide part of the squad, meaning a lot more deaths than the first movie. So I'm not sure how much of this will stick and all that, but I mean, we've already got mention of Green Lantern through Javelin. We've got Mongol through Mongal. Savant is related to the Birds of Prey, so there's a lot of connections making here already. Thinker, I know he was on The Flash season 4, which I haven't watched, but I'm assuming some sort of super smart, technical, telekinesis, mind control, telepathy, fear projection, intelligence. Okay, that's an AI version. Yeah, interesting to see how that's going to play in. Again, they have some pretty, again, James Gunn, lots of big names, but also not that, he's the type of person that would kill them off immediately. Wasn't Stallone in Guardians 2 as a character that died, or I don't know if he died, but he had some big names there for like 2-second cameos, so he's been known to do that. My point being, it could happen here too with Suicide Squad. What is this? Blackguard? Pete Davidson. He's gonna die. Right? Isn't that Pete Davidson? Energy constructs, energy maze, energy gadgets, power suit. Okay. Booster Gold enemy? Again, what the hell? It says he was killed by the general. I'm pretty sure he's gonna die here. It's weird. The stunt double, or the character, the screen, the picture they have of shooting on the set does not look like Pete Davidson at all. So I don't know. Stunt double, what happened there? But yeah, Pete Davidson's gonna die. We been knew. I don't think he's the best actor necessarily. TDK, is that what it's called? no idea who TDK is. I'm trying to just find who the hell that is. The Google doesn't even know what the hell that is. Here's a list, but okay, what is it? Character? This is Nathan Fillion. There is no, it's just talking about Dark Knight Rises. Okay, no idea who that is. Weasel. Again, it seems to be a. I'm guessing he's gonna have a good scene and then die. Future Weasel has canine-like teeth. I don't know what they're doing with this. Peacemaker, John Cena. Interesting that they use the Marvel word so much. You know, he said Marvel, James Gunn said Marvel, and then John Cena said Captain America. Like they're just really throwing those words out. I'm surprised on a DC thing. He was a Charlton Comics character, which is interesting. Worked for Checkmate. Okay, he looks a lot like Orion. Am I crazy? Like, what is going on here? Peak human physical condition, body armor, flight path, communications helmet. This is just Orion. How is this not Orion? Like, he's the name of superheroes. So I don't. Is he a hero or a villain? Oh, he's gonna be in. Okay, well, never mind. He's in Doomsday Clock, but it looks like it's probably just a group shot. Um, he's mentioned in the comic book, based on the TV series Young Justice. Yeah, Kingdom Come flashbacks. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then lastly, we've got Salsoria. Oh, there's Ratcatcher too, but how is this pronounced? Sul, S-U-L? I don't know. Sulsoria. Um, just nothing. So the detachable kid. Who? Hold up. King Shark. Obviously, we know him. Boomerang. Ratcatcher 2. I'll have to check why. TKD. Maybe that's why I was wrong. Oh, the detachable kid. What? That's interesting. I feel like I don't know if that's real. Okay, let me look. The detachable kid. Excuse me, Jesus. Arm fall off, boy. I don't know, man. Some of these characters, they gotta go. They gots to go. Um, again, it's too far out to predict anything really. The only movies we can really talk about are, I feel like, we can talk about Wonder Woman. We could talk about not even the Batman really, because I think that comes out in November next year, October. I know Black Adam comes out in December next year. All these movies are coming out next year late. Wonder Woman's the only one that's like been supposed to come out. So yeah. Anyways, Suicide Squad. I'm not. We'll see. A lot of weird characters. A lot of them are gonna be cannon fodder. Um, I'm thinking Flag will survive, obviously. Quinn. Um, maybe Idris. He might get a death, a noble death. Um, Boomerang's gonna survive. You got to keep the core, you know. Quinn, Flag, Boomerang. Those three gotta survive. Everybody else is on the chopping block. I think Bloodsport probably will survive because it's Idris Elba. But they might kill him off. Everybody else, honestly, I'm not really. I don't think anyone else is gonna survive. Maybe John Cena. Maybe Rooker. But the way they talk about him, I feel like he's the butt of the joke. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm much more excited for the movie after that panel. Still, I'd I'd much rather have like the Flash movie or Batman movie. I'd much rather see those before Suicide Squad. But I'm obviously gonna watch it. I'm just not as hype as I am for some of these other films that are coming out. We'll get back to the stream.
Films almost Wonder Woman like. I've always tried to say that's their problem, like this is their problem. I'd love to help you with it by surprising you with what I can do, but I have to focus on what I'm doing over here and do the best job I can while you get over your expectation of what people can do. I can't be bothered, and I want to always be a part of the voice of change in as big of a way as I can, but also not let that get in your head. So I try to just aim to be end-minded,
Last questions from my end is, let's talk about the Amazons and Wonder Woman and how amazing that they look in their outfits and how boss they are.
If Venus could play
I love
Nubia,
all of that. Can we talk about like stone women, costumes, and all of that?
There are many set patterns for doing
she is the
warfare
epitome of
and
geek
competition,
girl.
but
Okay.
they all are very specifically masculine, which you don't really think
Let's
about
get
until
her
you start
in the
trying to
movies.
design it, and the fighting is, like I said, headbutting and so getting into what they would do, what competition would be, how it would work, and what kind of clothing they would wear. It's not unlike you and how you dress and the things that you design, where it's like they don't need to be sexed up in an inconvenient way, but they also wouldn't not care about what they look like. They'd also care and have ownership in what they're thinking, that what they're putting on is both functional and cool. It's a fun thing to try to represent an entire world in this incredible tribe of Amazons. It reminds me of the kind of sports I've watched you do, so that makes me so happy.
Stay in touch. I love this whole conversation. I really
do.
feel like we're in the same home.
I know. And I mean it when I say, like, it's so funny because I really do sit around and talk about what Amazons are and what Wonder Woman is. And you literally are out there in this world walking around, like, demonstrating it all the time. And that's what's so cool is, like, being the director of it. Sometimes people will say, I've never seen a movie like that before. And I'm like, yeah, but you see the women. You've seen the women. You've seen people like you. So it's interesting that it's such an unusual thing. So nice to meet you. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, I need to check the freaking story. I'll do that when I'm off air for a minute. Because we're about to do another panel that I want to watch.
I had no idea Venus was such a huge DC fan like us. Not only do we here in the DC fandom want to know what you out there in the fanverse think, but we also want to know what you can do. We asked and you didn't disappoint. You sent in the best of your best cosplay and fan art, and here just a sample of the amazing talent out there in the DC fandom.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Deathstroke cover, awesome. Penguin, that's a nice stylistic. Ooh, that was great, Suicide Squad. Ooh, that's good. Again, I love how international this is. Ooh, beautiful. Just like the posters. Celebration of Villain Fan Art. Oh yeah, that's... Wait, what?
What is a boss? It is someone who's confident,
Here's the panel.
reaches their goals, and uses their inner strength as a superpower to get through life. You do not want to miss this next conversation as we gathered some of the most electrifying females from Megan Good to Candice Payton, the new Batwoman, Javisha Leslie, and more for a conversation we called Boss, Female of Color, within the DC Universe, moderated by celebrity DJ D Nice and Grammy Award-winning singer Estelle.
Estelle?
What's a boss? 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 It's me. That's me.
That's me.
Professor?
That's me. What's happening, folks? How you feeling? Welcome to the DC fandom. My name's Estelle,
and my name is D Nice, and welcome to Boss, Females of Color within the DC Universe panel.
right, we're going to start off by introducing some of the panelists today. Megan Good, who plays Darla Shazam on Shazam the film.
And I'm a big fan of this show. Candice Patton, who plays Iris West Allen on The Flash.
We got Nafisa Williams, who plays Anissa, Thunderbird, Blackbird on Black Lightning.
Yes, and we have Chantel Tweed. She plays Grace Joy on Black Lightning.
We got Javicia Leslie, who plays Ryan Wilder, a.k.a. Batwoman, on Batwoman. Hey.
We also have Anna Jope, who plays Coriana.
Donna!
On
I didn't
Titans.
recognize her.
And we got Damaris Lewis. My little sis, I love it. Plays Blackfire on Titans.
And we have Tala Ash, who plays Zari Tarazi on DC's Legend of Tomorrow.
Awesome.
As well.
So, okay, so we want to start this off with taking a minute to congratulate the newest boss of the entire group, Javicia Leslie, the first Black actress to play Batwoman. And I love this is huge news, given that only a few iconic Black actresses, Eartha Kitt, Halle Berry, and recently announced Zoe Kravitz, I know to hang around the Batcave, like, but you know they're Catwomen.
Catwoman versus Batwoman, yeah.
So she want to be Batwoman. So, you know, that's a huge thing. So we want to congratulate you and big you up for even doing that. You know what I mean? Thank you so much.
So awesome.
Well, who was kind of like your blueprint? Who do you think? Who was a person that you said, "Oh, this is why I want to do this"?
I've always truly admired Eartha Kitt. But I admire Eartha Kitt even outside of acting. I love her for her activism and the fact that she used her art for activism.
Okay.
And just her mentality in general, the things that she would say and how dynamic they were. And then just as a woman and the power that she had as a woman.
That's incredible. Do you got a question?
Yes. So I have a question for Anna. How's playing the role of Starfire changed your life?
It's a big question. I think as many people know, when I was cast, there was a lot of backlash because people were upset that some people were upset that it was a Black woman that they cast.
Hell no.
And
hell no.
I had to lean into my friends and my family and my faith, I guess, in a way that I haven't ever really had to do before.
So beautiful.
And also, it's been incredible to see what that meant for a lot of people. A lot of marginalized people reach out to me, be it Black or gay or trans or whatever, and it's incredible to be, even if some small inspiration for them. So, I guess in those ways,
it's definitely important during this time as well.
I'll throw one up to anybody who wants to answer. Like when you're a BIPOC. Seeing someone who looks like you play a character you've grown up loving is super powerful. I know that playing Garnet. And how does it make you feel knowing that you may be someone's first introduction to the world of superheroes? Like, what is the thing? How does it feel when the kids react to you or the people say?
I remember really early, we started our show in 2014, and I remember shortly after we aired, I remember getting a tweet from a mom, and she was saying that her and her daughter were watching The Flash, and her daughter was watching my character, and she was like, "Mommy, Iris West is so beautiful. She looks just like me. Does that mean that I'm beautiful too?" And she tweeted that to me, and I get teary-eyed to this day thinking about it. And I remember tweeting her back and saying, yes, tell your daughter we are beautiful. Like, remind her we are beautiful.
My daughter's 8 years old, and when I told her that, you know, I was doing this with you guys, she was like, are you serious? Can I come in? Can I say?
Okay, so for Damaris, all right, so you've been in this industry as a whole for a while, right? Whether it's you being a model, you've danced for Prince, like you've been a dancer, you've done some things in your life, and you know, I've been part witness to a lot of it, and now you're a superhero. I remember seeing
She's a
you
super
on the screen and thinking to
villain,
myself, she
not a
better work.
superhero.
You know, that's literally my first thoughts on seeing you in your role. As you move forward in your career, what exactly was the point of pivot? What was the point where you said, I'm going to do this? Go.
First of all, full circle moment, just the fact that you and Dee have been part of my journey. I think are always showing up. The pivot for me was when I started getting booked for being different. And that's when I realized that being different was my superpower.
That's cool. Interesting.
I have spent my entire life, you know, I had the luxury of working with Prince and having him being my mentor. And this is a person who prided himself on being different. But until it happens to you, you don't really believe it. And so, you know, modeling is one beast. Dance is another beast. Acting is another beast. And I've always been that kid in the corner. I've always been that person that thought a little bit differently. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of examples of what happens when you think differently.
I will tell you, you were a superhero when I first met you. I met you because of Estelle at one of Prince's shows.
Wow.
And
yeah.
The way you were walking across the stage, it was like, well, who is this? Like, it was just so confident to walk across the stage like that with Prince, and to see the type of success you're having right now. You know, we all knew it was going to happen, and we're all proud of you.
I love y'all. Thank you.
You know, it's awesome. So, Chantel, I have a question for you. So, who were your role models, whether females or just anyone in the industry? Like, who inspired you?
I think growing up, I had Maggie Chung, who did a lot of Wong Kar-wai films, as someone I admired a lot, and Sandra Oh, who, you know, broke a lot of barriers with the work she's done. But I also love doing theater. So a lot of actresses who've done theater and film and television is something I admire a lot, like Tessa Thompson or Felicia Rashad and Kate Blanchett. So I love actresses who use their craft not just as you know, a way of exposure,
Oof,
but
those
really
arms.
to
I need
like
to watch
as a
season
craft,
3 still.
digging deep and, you know, using it in a way that can change lives in their own lives. Like my grandmother, who, you know, left Vietnam during the war with her 10 kids on a boat. Wow. I mean, that for me, the personal heroes in my life, I think probably have marked me the most.
Wow, that's awesome.
How do you liberate yourselves and or subsequently your characters from the hypersexualized, exotic stereotypes that can be attached to Black and multicultural women? And like, what advice can you offer young girls about how to reclaim their sexuality, power, and confidence?
For me, one of the reasons that I was really excited to play Darla Dudley is because she's actually 8. And for me, you know, I have come from, you know, throughout my 20s, I was very much like that sexy girl, the love interest, the whatever it may be. And so breaking out of that space in my late 20s was really difficult. And what I learned was the fun thing is there's nothing wrong with owning your sexuality and wanting to be beautiful and sexy and strong and all those things. But also it's about, you know, as she was saying earlier, humanizing whatever character you are now living and breathing and finding the things about them that are human and real that people can relate to, that are not just an idea of like, oh, that looks great and like that's awesome, but like, who is this person at the core that makes her not just relatable to other people, but especially as being Black women, relatable as a Black woman, because that experience is unique. No matter what the experience is as a woman, you're Black first, you know? And so I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to owning a certain part of it and being happy because we are women. You know, why should we not lean into all of who we are, but also being able to lean into all of it and being proud of all of it and figuring out how that works for each character. And for me with Darla Dudley, that was like a dream come true because I pretty much am like size somewhere teeter between like 9 and like 50 something in everyday life. So it was nice to not lean into the sexuality at all and lean into the goofy side of me that really only my husband and like my close friends get to see all the time.
Now, firsts are important, and I think a lot of us here are firsts, seeing Black superheroes and people of color being superheroes, period, and women of color being superheroes. Nafisa, as half of the popular Anissa Grace couple on Black Lightning, what have you learned from our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQIA plus community? What's been the feedback? What's been the thing? I feel it when I play Garnet, which is a whole other character. But like, what's been the feedback? What's been the thing?
Oh, shit,
Because
Garnet on
that's something that
Steven
is
Universe? Is
wide
that what
and
it's
broad,
called?
and you stand for something major here. You know.
Thank you, and I'm really honored to play this role, the first Black lesbian superhero, right? Because when I think of that, I think about all the Black lesbians who have not been able to visually see themselves when they go to the cinema or they watch their favorite TV shows. And for me, it's one thing of knowing that there was a void for it, but when you're in that role and you're getting the feedback, you realize the importance of it and how much it's necessary and how much it's needed. And for me, the feedback that I once got, and I feel like Candace, I get emotional, and this is one that sticks out to me every time someone asks me this question, is I was at a Comic-Con and a young woman came up to me and she was full on tears and she said, I feel normal being a lesbian after seeing Thunder. So for me, my job is done. I feel like God has used me in that sense. As storytellers, I believe it's our purpose and it's our duty to tell stories that are important, especially for our culture. So that's the biggest reward of all, knowing that people are seeing themselves, little girls, when they see my character, they see themselves in the hood with cornrows. We didn't have superheroes who looked like us before.
So speaking of first, as the first Muslim superhero on television, Tala, how important is it for your role as Zari be authentic to your heritage?
It's really important. I think it's more important that it's kind of authentic to her heritage. Obviously, I bring myself to the role and what I am, which is an immigrant, which is an Iranian American. But when I heard she was going to be the first, and I say Muslim American because I think it's really important that we keep the American part of it, because it's so easy to otherize
different experiences
in these situations. And so when it was first Muslim American superhero, I felt the weight of that. And I think the really smart thing that my show did, which every show should do, is that when they hired me, they hired a Muslim American writer.
Wow, that's great.
Shout out to Oba Muhammad, who is a wonderful human and a wonderful writer. So when I heard Muslim American superhero, to bring it back around, I was like, we have to get this right. Representation matters so much. It's so important that little brown girls all over this, not just girls, all little brown children all over the world are seeing someone like me and being like, oh, that opens my mind, that opens possibility. But also people who, are in maybe parts of our country who will never be exposed to a Muslim American. If they can connect to the character, I feel like we've done our job, and that's just what we're trying to do.
I think it's great that you recognize that it's not just about little girls, because there are some, boys of color that are watching all of you that are feeling inspired because of the roles that you're playing. So, thank you to all of you for doing that, being great representations. So I want to throw a question out there. Anyone can answer. So which of your characters' superpowers would you like to have in real life to combat social injustice that's going on here today?
Yeah, everybody has to answer this one.
This isn't my This isn't my superpower, but I'm on a time travel show, so I have a lot of changes I'd love to make to the screen. There's a lot of dates. There's a date in 2016 in November. I'd go back there first.
Well, Corey can set people on fire, which sounds really violent and terrible, but
why not?
I did steal my husband's superpowers in one episode, and became the fastest woman on the planet. So I guess if I had super speed, I would clearly super speed a lot of people out of precarious police interactions.
So my character, Thunder's superpower is super strength. So I use my super strength to arrest the police officers who took the life of Breonna Teller and countless others. Yeah, that's all I'm really concerned about these days. So that's what I use my strength for. As I'm using my personal strength to do it, I think Thunder's strength is a bit more intense than mine. So I definitely borrow her strength for that.
Yes.
I take from a different part of Blackfire has some issues with her family, and that means that she's had to spend a lot of time going inside and trying to figure out why she has those issues. And so that's the thing that I would take and I would give everybody right now. I'd give everybody the ability to go inside and truly ask yourself how we got here.
Yeah, I would use shape-shifting power to swap some people out of the office.
That's a pretty good one.
The shade. There's so much shade in this.
We were talking about this.
I love
Batwoman
it.
doesn't necessarily have superpower, but I do have the ability to put a mask on and do things that I feel other citizens are too scared to do based off of, it ruining their reputation or it putting their family in danger.
What does being a boss mean to you?
I think being a boss is making more bosses. I think that we have to everybody on this call right now has to give it up for the people who came before us, who took the crap, who showed up every single day with the circumstances that they were handed. I don't think they get enough credit. The stunt people, the people behind the scenes who are editing us, the people whose names never get called when people are accepting their awards at award shows. We are here because of previous bosses, and now it's our obligation to reach down and make even more. It's like making sure that every move that I make, the algorithm is real when it comes to social media, and whether we like it or not, we have no idea who's following us or what it's showing up as. And the reality is they're taking what we do and they're mimicking it. So how do you want to be mimicked? And really, how do you want to show up if bossing is a thing that you want to be forever? So first of all, shout out to all the other bosses on this call, and thank y'all for showing up.
Being a boss means following your heart and also being of service to others.
I think to me, being a boss is knowing that it's bigger than you.
I was going to say that, the word boss, and when this panel came up for me, it reminded me, we also get called divas. And the flip side of that is we also get called difficult, bossy. And for me, being a boss, especially a boss as a Black woman, a woman of color, means standing in that, being okay with being labeled as difficult if it means that I have to stand up for what's right and do the right thing. I've had to learn as I get older to not be afraid as a Black woman to speak up, because I've been taught so much in my life to be quiet, be grateful, don't say too much, don't ask for too much, don't disturb too much, just go with the flow. And, in the last several years of my life, I have been able to find my strength and being able to stand up for myself and for others, more importantly. And I think often we get labeled as divas, difficult, and I love that we changed that title into boss, because that is really being a boss. It's really being a boss. Like when I go to work, I'm a boss. I'm a boss for me and I'm a boss for everyone around me, meaning that I will stand up for you. And if that means that I have to take on a label as being difficult to do the right thing, then that's what it takes, And I think that's what we have to do as Black women is be bosses for each other. So yeah, I'm proud to be a boss.
Yes. Thank you for allowing me to be the only man in this conversation.
D Nice, thank you for being such a blessing to all of us during this pandemic. What you did and took upon yourself to do gave so many of us just light when we truly, truly needed it. So
Well,
thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
One more time, we're gonna do a roll call. Okay? Do a roll call. Make some
That was a
noise
nice
for
panel.
Megan. Make
I'm
some
glad I
noise.
watched that one. Yeah, that's
Make some noise for William. Make some noise for Chantal Tweed. Make
a
some noise for
lot of cool
Jamaica.
stuff there.
Make some
Let me
noise
see
for
what time
Anna.
it
Make
is.
some noise for Damaris. And make some noise
Okay,
for
like
Tyler.
1:35. We'll be back. Okay. Cool. Yeah, great panel. I was definitely gonna say something. I love all those actresses so much. Um, some very important stuff they were saying. I thought I was gonna say something. It's not important. Whatever it is, it's not important. Go watch that panel again if you haven't watched it. Watch it in your free time. Share it to your friends. I think it's a cool message. A lot of good insights into the industry and just into social politics and cultural relevance today, and how it was spoken. I think I was just gonna add that I'm glad DC is being so lenient, I guess is the word, um, by extension Warner Brothers, possibly, lenient towards some of the things that people are saying in these panels. Not that it should be controversial, but I could see other, I mean, Disney, be a bit more tight knit and closed off for what these actors and these panelists would say. Mentioning Breonna Taylor, mentioning 2016 November, um, uh, mentioning these social injustices. I feel like, is that Brenton Thwaites? I might have to watch this panel. But um, I'm just surprised about how much they're willing to let these people say stuff, because this is obviously edited down. This is not live at all. These are pre-recorded panels, shown at time slots, obviously, but they cut down what they want to say, between the different actors and actresses. But they let them, they let them say these things. They posted this, so that's really cool that they're willing to put this message out here. Especially having a panel full of these amazing actresses, speaking their mind and uh, bringing not only the positives but some of the negatives, to some of the production companies. I mean, I don't know her name, but the actress who plays Zari, I believe the character is, um, mentioning a positive and bringing a Muslim American writer. I think it's awesome that they did that, and she called it out. Like she thinks that every show should do that. Which is true. It should be a practice to have on-screen and behind-the-screen talent that represent what you are talking about. Um, but then you have maybe a backhanded compliment saying like maybe other shows don't have that. Is that what you're trying to imply? I lost my train of thought again, but again, just pretty cool stuff. Letting these, and again, going back to the Suicide Squad panel, the fact that they're willing to say Marvel, say Captain America, um, just shows how much, um, not necessarily faith, but goodwill. It's not censored. Um, anyways, just a little round of applause for that. Uh, Thanks for watching. If you've made it through these first 3 hours with me, thank you. We're gonna go on for another fucking 4.5 or something. I don't know. I don't even know when the last panel is, but I'm gonna take a short break, uh, and then I'll hop into another stream, and you can catch me there for. We still got Black Adam panel, Batman panel. I know there's a Titans. I think Doom Patrol might be. There's a what was the other movie? Shazam and Aquaman, I'm not too sure about. I'll have to curate my schedule because I don't know. I'm gonna be skipping some of these panels, but yeah, there's some good stuff still coming. So, oh, Kill the Justice League. There's that one. Okay, last panel's at 5:30. Perfect. I'm gonna quit now so I can stop talking and actually get a break. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next stream.